offensive to a new level, and more than 40 people in Hong Kong have died in a fire. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa will continue to participate as a full member of the G20 after US President Donald Trump's announcement that the country will not be invited to the gathering in Miami next year. Trump took to his Truth social media platform to announce his decision based on false claims about horrific human rights abuses suffered by white farmers in South Africa. Since his return to the White House this year, Trump has peddled disinformation against South Africa of a white genocide. He snubbed this year's G20 that took place on African soil for the first time and ordered that its presidency be handed over to a U.S. deputy ambassador. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Magwenya.
South Africa is a member of the G20 in its own name and right. Its G20 membership is at the behest of all other members. South Africa is also a sovereign, constitutional democratic country and does not appreciate insults from another country about its worth in participating in global platforms.
Alleged underworld figure Vusmuzi Cat Matlala's first appearance before Parliament's ad hoc committee has revealed some shocking details, such as a R500,000 bribe to former Minister Begicele for political favours. Matlala yesterday told the committee that's investigating alleged police corruption that Cele lied under oath when he alleged their relationship was about exchanging vital information. He also claims that Cele was able to help stop police harassment and raids at his properties as part of the arrangement between them. Matlala made the allegations while giving evidence at the Kgosi Mampuru prison in Pretoria, where he's jailed. Babalondense has more.
Vusmuzi Cat Matlala claims former police minister Begicele was willing to help stop raids at his properties on condition that he withdraws his court challenge. Matlala's court entered it was against alleged police harassment related to a disputed multi-million rand tender awarded to Matlala's company. Matlala also claims he paid Cele 500,000 rand in two payments when questioned by EFF leader Julius Malema.
I gave him money twice.
How much did you give him, the first one and the second one?
I gave him 300,000 and then on the second occasion I gave him 200,000.
Matlala also told Malema and the committee that Cele lied under oath about their relationship and the nature of the payments.
Yes, he lied under oath.
Thank you.
If he was seeking information, why would he even ask me to ask my protectors to take him and his wife to a wedding somewhere in Lanseria?
Matlala's evidence continues today, where he will respond to more questions around payments he made to politicians and senior police officials. Babalondense, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
An alleged violent attack by the bodyguards of IPHC church leader Michael Sandlana have kept him behind bars, with the state planning on opposing his bail. Sandlana appeared in the Commercial Crimes Court yesterday, along with High Court Judge Portia Patlane and two others. Patlane is accused of taking bribes of more than 2 million rand from Sandlana for a judgment in his favour in a church succession matter that has been appearing before her. Sandlana is one of three men who claim to be the rightful leader of the church after Clayton Modise died in 2016. Khomoso Modise reports.
While Judge Portia Patlane, her son Kagiso, leader of the Jerusalem faction of the IPHC, Michael Sandlana, and his spokesperson Vusindala appeared in the Commercial Crimes Court yesterday on corruption and money laundering charges, the state did not oppose bail for all but one of them. Prosecutors told the court that they needed time to evaluate Sandlana's case for bail after his bodyguards allegedly violently attacked police officers while they tried to arrest him, landing them in hospital. Hawk spokesperson Katlego Mogale.
There was an altercation where some of our members got injured and they were taken to hospital, but fortunately there wasn't as worse as it was expected, and the suspect was then arrested.
Mogale says one of the officers lost their firearm during the altercation, but it was later returned by Sandlana's security. Sandlana will return to court next week for bail application, which the state plans to oppose. Khomoso Modise, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
And at least 44 people have been killed in a major fire that engulfed public housing apartments in Hong Kong's Tai Po district. 279 people have not been accounted for. 3 construction company executives have been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter connected to flammable materials, including bamboo, that may have allowed the fire to spread quickly. More than 800 firefighters are tackling the blaze, which has been burning for over 18 hours, and the fire has been classified a level 5 blaze, the most serious level in Hong Kong. The government has also paid tribute to a 37-year-old firefighter who died during the blaze. Gold is trading at $4,149.36 an ounce. The rand is at 17.12 to the dollar, 22.69 to the pound, 19.86 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $62.86 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North approaching the Giluli's interchange. There's also queuing traffic already on the N1 North. This is as you leave the south of Joburg, Devland, as well as Naturena, between the N12 exit and the Diepkloof interchange.
And in your sport, Liverpool having their worst run in 71 years, losing 4-1 to Eindhoven in the Champions League last night, while Arsenal ended Bayern Munich's perfect run. In the Betway Premiership, a 10-man Stellenbosch beat Orbit College 2-1. And Formula One team Aston Martin has appointed Adrian Newey as team principal for next year.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with thunder showers expected. Johannesburg starting at 13 degrees, peaking at 26. Pretoria 16 and 29. Vereeniging 14 and 27. The top story in EWN this hour. President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa will continue to participate as a full member of the G20 after US President Donald Trump's announcement that the country will not be invited to the gathering in Miami next year.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 6 o'clock. Yes, I'm back in the hot seat after 2 days of master chefing. I'm pleased to be in your company. My name indeed is Bongani Bingwa. My thanks to Ray White, who stood in for the last couple of days as I was busy with that. We'll tell you all about that episode as it gets closer to being screened. But it was an absolutely fantastic experience. But the news, of course, waits for no man. So much on the go. President Ramaphosa, as you've just heard in Eyewitness News, responding to that disinvitation by the US President Donald Trump. Remember, this was one of the big talking points at the end of the G20 summit. Would we be going to Miami? Would we be singing that Will Smith song, Going to Miami? The US government, led by Donald Trump, says we're not. And I can imagine, I suppose formally they may have to issue some kind of invitation, but they won't give us visas or something silly like that. I mean, there'll be some technical way to get around it. Should we go? Even if Donald Trump changes his mind? Durko insisting, hang on, we're a founding member of the G20. We weren't just invited. You must remember, the G20, of course, was formed at the end of the last millennium in 1999 as finance ministers and central bank governors got together to try and figure out how to stabilize the global economic system. It was stress test in particular in 2008 when there was that financial meltdown, but it was never about politics. It was always about the economy, stupid.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Remember that famous saying? So we were there right from the beginning. It wasn't as if the G20 was formed and they thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have an African country? We were always there under that representation, if you will, African inclusion. We were the only country to be a member of the G20 at the time, and I think it remains the case. So from its inception, South Africa has always understood that it wasn't just there for itself, but in many respects representing more broadly the global south, but specifically the African continent. And so it was really no surprise that the issues that were on our agenda would be championing African positions on the global stage. Trump says, no, none of that. You're not coming. What happens next? You are uninvited. Your responses to this, and how should President Ramaphosa deal with it? Because, of course, equally or even perhaps more importantly, in that Truth Social post, the U.S. president also talking about pulling money the U.S. government is spending on South Africa. So this could hurt us institutionally. You may remember that was part of the argument I made at the start of the week when we spoke to our guest on Monday. Following the high fives and the celebrations of the G20, one of the things I cautioned about was, hang on, what recriminations will come from the US? Or do we just accept our fate and understand this is exactly what he's going to do regardless of our response, right? Regardless of what we say. I mean, he knows this disinformation campaign is not true. So what happens now? He says we're going to stop all payments and subsidies to them effective immediately. South Africa has demonstrated to the world we are not a country worthy of membership anywhere. This is what Donald Trump is saying. What do you think our response ought to be?
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, we're going to start on our menu today speaking to our Khumutso Modise, EWN reporter par excellence. She's going to be joining us in the studio, looking back on a couple of key moments in the various processes that are underway to investigate alleged criminality influence in law enforcement, because quite often you blink and you've missed it. So she's going to give us an up-to-date review of what is unfolding. There's also that SCOPA matter and the former CEO of the Road Accident Fund who's gone on to television. He doesn't want to come on this show. I wonder why he won't come on this show, but nonetheless, here we go. The non-appearance by Collins Letswala. Twice he made MPs wait, and he doesn't feel he has to answer to them. He only wants to speak to the Transport Oversight Committee, but many of the members of that committee are part of SCOPA, the Standing Committee on Public Accounts. This is SCOPA in Parliament. So we'll look at that. Duduzile Zuma, did she recruit? You remember on Monday we were scheduled to speak to one of the men who at the very last minute said, look, they're taking us away. They're taking our phones. We're not going to have airtime. They're giving us combat gear. We're probably going to go and fight on the front, and we don't know if we'll come back. In fact, I'll play you one of the chilling voice notes he sent to us a little later on. So she might be in a spot of bother because, as I explained on Monday, you cannot recruit South Africans to go and fight in foreign war theaters. Our big interview focuses on Tanzania. I've joked before that the Tanzanian president really is the dictator that she thinks she is. She won 98%, of course, of the last election, threw most opposition behind bars or said they were ineligible to participate, and then, of course, won a resounding 98%. There were protests, which she made sure were squashed with the utmost aggression. I mean, it was a bit of a bloodbath. And so now an organization is taking her to the International Criminal Court. And so we'll find out exactly what that's all about and what it may or may not yield. The National Video and Film Foundation opening up multi-million rand film funding. It's a small little window. They're launching it nationwide. But if you're a filmmaker or a would-be docu-maker, this is one for you to listen to. And then Paddle for Hope, the first blockchain-powered sports fundraiser to save the Rhino.
Let's walk the talk.
7:02.
13 minutes after 6 o'clock. I'm not alone, of course, this morning. I've got an entire team of colleagues, Bapelile and Siamtanda, taking your calls and producing the show behind the scenes. Karabo is here with the social media clips and everything you see of the show on social media. He's responsible for that. And, of course, KG starting the clock. Amoramila, good morning.
Good morning, Bongani, and welcome back.
I wasn't gone for 5 weeks.
2 days is good enough to say welcome back.
No reason to welcome me back. Muteo Haripe out for the day, but we welcome the ever-brilliant Nokukanya Mdambo. Good morning.
Good morning, Bongani, and to the 702 Landers. Welcome back.
Muteo, come back. All's forgiven. All's forgiven. Right, so here's a question for you two ladies. How do you dress to make a statement? How do you know someone else is really now dressed to make a statement? I'll give an example. as a man, when you see me wearing a cravat, not even a bow tie, a cravat,
What's a cravat?
It's how do I explain what a cravat is? It's like that hanky type tie, but it is a tie.
Okay.
Particularly for evening wear. You must know I mean business. I've got special cufflinks that I usually wear when I mean business. The shoe is all important.
Yeah.
Right? And my nylon socks. Now, I mention the socks because you'll never see them because, hello, I'm wearing
Kanya
pants.
is looking.
Under the table,
I don't mean
yes.
business today, but I bought some of these socks as far back as 2010. And I bought a whole bunch of them in the US because you don't get them quite that frequently here in South Africa. Men's nylon socks. And I take them out bit by bit. I think I've probably got about 4 unopened pairs now from 2010, yeah? That I still keep. And then every now and again, when the occasion requires it, out come my nylon socks. Now, that's a thing because part of making a statement and dressing to make a statement, I think, has to be about what you feel.
Yeah.
Rather than necessarily what others may respond to. Do you see where I'm going with this?
That's fair. For me, Bongani, I think it's my shoes. Those, for me, will always tell you where I am in my headspace and my mood. My shoes are very important. You know that click, click, click when you... Amu will always say... Yeah, Amu usually says... So the EWN offices are upstairs from where we are, the studios. And she will usually say when I'm walking on the ground floor where we are and she's upstairs and she hears the click, 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 she'll shout from upstairs, "No, Kanya, is that you downstairs?" That for me is that statement.
Okay.
Yes.
The shoes for you, Amu?
I'm a very simple person, and a lot of people know that I don't wear makeup every day. I don't wear high heels in fact, I'm always in comfortable wear. So when I'm wearing my high heels, you should know I mean business.
We mean business.
My blazer also.
Yes. I think I've seen the blazer.
Yeah. And
it's a
makeup.
navy one, right?
It's a navy one.
Yeah,
It's a red one. It's a couple of them. I've got a few blazers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the reverse. What do you look for when somebody thinks they're making a statement and you're going, oh boy, oh boy. What is that one item? They are so sure. And you think,
does this apply for both genders?
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
Can I give you for the male version? And please don't take offense because I am in floral today. Please don't take offense. But for me, it will be a floral shirt on a man. For me,
man shouldn't wear floral shirt.
No.
Or any pattern.
Any pattern is fine. Floral, not so much. And again, please don't take offense. I am in floral today.
I'm going to wear a floral shirt just to prove you wrong. I'm going to wear it this week.
Okay, convince me.
Just to prove you wrong.
Convince me.
Okay, cool. Amo?
Bongani, I know Kavela makes beautiful shoes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But there's a specific Kavela that when we talk about, you know which one I'm talking about.
The Kavela that represents all the Kavelas.
All the Kavelas. That one.
Don't wear it.
But that's a classic shoe.
I don't care where you're going.
That's a classic shoe.
No, I cannot.
Do you know what I don't miss? And I don't want to remind anybody. Remember those Panzula pants?
Remember
the Panzula pants? No. So they would be shortened. They would be shortened in terms of the length of the pants. So they wouldn't go all the way down to your shoes. And then somehow they would make the front bigger. The front part of the pants. They were cut in such a way.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a Panzula pair of pants. They were known. KG, you know what I'm talking about?
Not the ones Trompis used to wear.
Yes.
Those ones.
Yes. I haven't seen those. Thank gosh we've seen the back of those. All right, let us know. Let's have some fun with it. We'll explain why we're asking coming up.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Much of the focus, of course, of the program and indeed discussions this week when it comes to current affairs has been the appearance of the so-called businessman Vusumuzi Cat Matlala. You remember the ad hoc committee from Parliament looking into these allegations of criminality in our law enforcement, trekked all the way to Kgosi Mampuru, the correctional center in Pretoria, to hear what his version of what other people had said about his involvement and the involvement of former ministers, current ministers of police. And yesterday, he held nothing back. Vusi Matlala.
Effectively, I'm asking you, Mr. Matlala, did former Minister Cele lie under oath about those issues in relation to your name?
Yes, he lied under oath.
Thank you.
If he was asking, he was sucking information, why would he even ask me to ask my protectors to take him and his wife to a wedding somewhere in Lanseria? So that there was no way from me sending my protectors to drive him to a wedding. There was no way he will get information from those guys. He don't know them. If he wanted information, he was supposed to all the time make sure that I'm with him so that he can suck information from me. But it was for his own benefit. I even gave him money. If you are here to suck information, that money declare it somewhere that okay, this guy gave me this money, and then. But since we know that we want information, I had to ask money from him. I don't think he even declared that money. I gave him money twice.
Yeah. How much did you give him, the first one and the second one?
I gave him 300,000, and then on the second occasion, I gave him 200,000.
Which, of course, he could well afford because he had a multi-million rand contract for accommodation for the police. But isn't it extraordinary how, in the bigger scheme of things, these amounts are almost minuscule compared to what, the people who offer them get from the state. Do you follow what I'm saying? I mean, of course, I'm not saying 500,000 rand is to be sniffed at.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in the context of somebody who's won a tender worth 360 million rand, that a political principal who is there to ensure he gets this tender, gets these little sweeties doled out in tranches of payments, doesn't that tell you just how greedy and injudicious many of our politicians are? That is, of course, and this is my rider, of course, if what Matlala is saying is true.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
22 after 6, Nokanya Mdambo, you've got a question of your own?
I certainly do. A very good morning to the 702 landers again. I want to know if you're taking part in Black Friday tomorrow. If you are, what are some of the items that are on your list? Are you going for the big purchases, so your appliances, your furniture, or is it the basics, your groceries, the clothes, your Christmas clothes? Maybe that's what you've got on your agenda.
It's Cyril's economy. So I love the Clicks reward program.
Yeah.
So because you can save up your points and then they can turn your points into cash for spend in the store. And so I'm looking for fragrances. I'm looking for fragrances. I'm looking for beauty products.
Okay.
Because that's the only way I can justify some of them. I have to use quote-unquote free money. And it's Black Friday, so they'll be on special.
Yeah.
2 birds with one stone.
Might as well.
What are you going to buy?
If you follow me on Instagram, Bongani, I've been posting about this gorgeous pair of sunglasses for the past couple of months now. I've got my eyes on that. I don't know if I will follow through on it, but I've got this gorgeous, gorgeous pair of sunglasses that's on my list.
Because the future is bright.
702
weather.
This EWN weather brought to you by Samsung. Rain or sunshine, choose your temperature with Samsung air conditioners. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Thunder showers expected. Temperatures in Joburg peaking at 26 degrees, 29 for Pretoria, 27 for Eniging. Partly cloudy is what's expected for Cape Town, a high of 30. The peak for Gqeberha is 24. East London, 25. And Durban, 28 degrees.
This summer, at the break of day, the shoreline hums with promise. It feels lighter here, fresher, as if summer itself has been redefined. Now experience the power of Samsung air conditioners with up to 30% off this November. Make every day a cooler, smarter summer. Shop at Samsung stores, online, or speak to your authorized installer. T's and C's apply.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 rand. I found out what it is. Among the pants.
Yes.
Brentwood.
Oh. Oh.
Who's stuck in
but
traffic?
They are in fashion now. Those
No,
pants are like...
not the way they used to cut them.
Okay.
And I don't think Brent with the pants maker cut. I think people used to adjust them to turn them into pantsula pants.
Maybe even now they still do that.
Who's stuck in traffic wishing they were wearing Brenthood or pantsula pants?
Well, Bongani, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baku Interchange. Roadworks are taking place along this route, so do expect about a 20-minute hold-up if you're heading towards areas like Sandton as well as Morningside and even Woodmead. While traveling on the N1 South, we've got delays between the Brakfontein Interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. Peak time delays there. There's also peak time pressure reported on the N12 as well as the R24 West between Inville Road and the Giluli's Interchange. Please be on the lookout there. I'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like a man wearing his finest suit on his way to an interview. He's prepped 100 times, but he still has butterflies. The Outurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's a potential lucky break that could change someone's life. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
26 minutes after 6 o'clock, things you need to know at this hour. Just played you a clip, of course, from that ad hoc committee parliamentary appearance, really at the Kgosi Mampuru prison. It was the MPs who appeared before Matlala in a way. There he was, shackled in Burberry, flanked by guards. The controversial so-called businessman gave his version of what happened, and he said that in fact, Begitele was not fishing for information from him, but rather needed benefits. He was given, he says, 500,000 rand in cash in 2 installments by Matlala, who even arranged transport for Tele and his wife to go to a wedding where it was his protectors who were with Tele. And he challenged Begitele and said, if indeed this was all for fishing for information, where did he declare it? To whom did he say, I've got this money? As I was fishing for information, he insisted on giving me 500,000 rand, and here it is. I'm not using it for my personal benefit. That I never did any such thing. And Matlala says, well, there is your answer. But there he was in his shackles wearing Burberry. And that's why we're asking that question. What do you wear when you feel like you are going to make a statement? And did he get it right? Did he get it right? I mean, Burberry is one of those brands you almost have to apply to buy their things, right? Do you think they would be proud of what he was wearing? Because we're talking about sometimes you think you've got it right, and sometimes, boy, oh boy, do you have it wrong. A personal vendetta, nothing more. This is what the corruption-accused Pretoria High Court Judge Portia Patlane says. Listen to this. She, her son, and a co-accused International Pentecostal Holiness Church leader, one Michael Sandlana, and some guy called Vusindala, walked out of the Pretoria Specialized Commercial Crimes Court yesterday on bail. It has, of course, escalated calls for her suspension, and it all stems from a bitter leadership war within the church and a case she once presided over. She's accused of scoring 2 million rand in bribes, including cash payouts. And it's prompted, I think it's probably one of the reasons at least, it's prompted the Chief Justice to issue a statement raising her concern about the number of judges who are caught up in these kinds of accusations. Today would have been Uncle Phil's 81st birthday. Do you remember Uncle Phil? James Avery, the actor, of course, that's his real name. You'll remember that from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was crowned as one of the greatest TV dads of all time. He passed away in 2013 due to complications from open heart surgery. He shares his birthday with Jaleel Ahmad White, born on this day in 1976. White, of course, you'll remember as the nerdy but lovable Steve Urkel on Family Matters. A German traffic warden quietly pulled off a real-life crime thriller, turning himself into a millionaire through years of audacious theft. The 40-year-old, employed to empty council-run parking meters in Bavaria allegedly skimmed around 1 million euros in loose change from hundreds of collections. Authorities say he funneled the stolen coins into multiple bank accounts, and it set off a major money laundering alarm when city staff noticed the bizarre continuous flood of cash deposits. And what's that defining movie of your childhood or the childhood of your children? For me, it has to be this one. 2013's Disney blockbuster Frozen, released on this day. It went on to earn major acclaim, including winning 2 Oscars for Best Animated Feature and Best Original Song. There were frozen cakes, frozen dresses, frozen themed parties. We knew the song, Let It Go, Let It Go. Of course, I had a much younger child. I think it was certainly the defining movie of her childhood. What was yours?
702.
The newspapers.
Sfisa Zulu, the newspapers. What's grabbing your attention?
Good morning, Bongani. Is a story in the international front that's happening in Hong Kong, where a housing apartment block has been engulfed by a fire. 44 people have died.
Yes, I heard it in Eyewitness News.
And 279 are missing. The fire is still raging. And some of the information that we're receiving is that a firefighter is also among the people who are dead. And among those who have been hospitalized, 45 are in serious condition. And the 8th residential blocks in this estate had been undergoing renovations since July 2024. And they were using bamboo scaffolding, which is believed to have caused the spread of the fire. And 3 people have been arrested who are believed to be the owners of that building for the shoddy work that they've been doing using bamboo as scaffolding. So, that's happening in Hong Kong this morning.
The defining movie of your childhood?
Ooh, I don't know. Anything with Bruce Lee. We used to watch those movies and I used to pretend to be
Enter
Bruce
the
Lee.
Dragon. Well, front page of the Business Day, online gambling tax plan slammed as unworkable. The Sowetan says, look what the cat dragged in, referring to Cat Matlala. And the Citizen, same story, how cat got 360 million rand cop tender.
EWN Business.
Well, Kanya, you're asking us what we're splurging on for Black Friday tomorrow. Is it clothes, groceries, furniture, appliances, or simply not taking part? What prompts the question?
Yeah, Bongani, so ABSA's forecasting a 10% jump in spending on Black Friday and says transaction values could breach the 4.5 billion rand mark. The bank says food and grocery categories are likely to again lead the growth. A surge in spending activity is expected in spite of consumers being weighed down by high food prices, transport hikes, and the cost of keeping the lights on. Black Friday, of course, in South Africa has become more than just a spending bonanza and now resembles a national economic mood indicator. ABSA saying there that the discount range is sitting between anything from 5% to about 20% and will, of course, be targeted.
What are we likely to see fly off the shelves?
Essentials, Bongani, appear to be the anchor. Pick n Pay saying that groceries and basic staples remain a core, while the retailers also promoting categories that grew in popularity. So your clothing, your shoes, your appliances. Your rival retailer Spar also saying that it's aligned its product selection to meet shifting consumer demands. In the retailers' books, the key categories that have remained popular during Black Friday include your cooking oil, your milk, your canned fish, your maize meal, your flour, alongside other essentials like your detergents, your toilet paper, and your baby diapers. And the thinking behind the strategy really for both of these retailers is that they're giving consumers some reprieve from a tough year of high prices and inflation, and of course looking forward to the festive season, which comes with the many demands and the expenses.
So it's not just about fancy.
No.
You can tell those are essentials. All right, where's the rand?
Thanks to a weaker dollar, Bongani, the rand is holding a little stronger, 17.12 to the dollar, almost 10% stronger for year to date, and half of that for exactly a year ago. 1986 to the euro, 22.68 to the pound. Gold is trading at $4,168 an ounce. Platinum at $1,611. The price of Brent crude at $62.15. More business after 7.
And that's the story you're starting with, Sfiso Zulu, Black Friday.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. The National Credit Regulator is advising consumers to prioritize peace of mind over the pressure to spend this Black Friday and during the festive season. Spokesperson Alfred Matsimbi says while it's important for consumers to enjoy the festive season by spoiling themselves, one's financial future is more crucial. As Black Friday opens festive season spending tomorrow, Matsimbi urges consumers to be mindful of their financial obligations which loom in January.
And after that, January, when it comes on the 5th of January, we have to go back to work. Unfortunately, many of us will have to go back to the machonistas, the banks, the micro lenders.
law expert Llewellyn Curl-Lewis believes convicted murderer Najwa Peterson could know by the end of this week if she'll be released on parole. He was commenting after the Correctional Supervision and Parole Review Board set yesterday to consider the 63-year-old's parole application. After serving 16 of her 28-year prison sentence for orchestrating her husband Talib Peterson's murder, she is now eligible to be released on parole. The music and theatre legend was shot dead in his Athlone home in December 2006. Curl-Lewis says he would not be surprised if Najwa is released on parole soon.
I won't say immediately, maybe not the first time around, but I don't think this is the first application that was brought before the parole board for this specific inmate. But sooner than later, at some time, the person will qualify for parole and will be let out on parole. As long as it's within a reasonable time frame, and a reasonable time frame can be a 1 day or it can be a month, may even be longer. But I suspect answer sooner than later because this is a very high profile and important matter.
Alleged underworld gang boss Nafiz Modak has remained defiant during cross-examination about allegedly planning the murder of top cop Charles Kenya. Evidence of illegal tracking and the testimony of a co-accused Zain Killian was used in the Western Cape High Court yesterday to show Modak was behind the murder of Kenya. The senior police officer was investigating Modak when he was shot dead outside his Bishop Levy's home in 2020. Carlo Peterson has more.
Evidence shows Nafiz Modak's co-accused Zain Killian pinged Colonel Charles Kenya more than 2,000 times and was paid more than 200,000 rand before Kenya's murder in September 2020. Killian has since testified it was Modak who paid and instructed him to ping Kenya. State Prosecutor Greg Vormeran showed the court screenshots of pings on Kenya, which was sent from Killian's phone.
So either this is part of a conspiracy, or I'm going to argue the evidence reveals that Killian is reporting to you. It's falsehood.
Modak's cross-examination is set to resume today. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And 2 National Guard soldiers are critically injured after being shot in Washington, D.C. near the White House. Police say the suspects opened fire yesterday before being subdued by other National Guard nearby who heard the gunfire. President Donald Trump says the alleged gunman is an Afghan national, and Trump has vowed that his administration will ensure the suspect pays the price for the attack.
The Department of Homeland Security is confident that the suspect in custody is a foreigner who entered our country from Afghanistan, a hellhole on earth. He was flown in by the Biden administration in September 2021 on those infamous flights that everybody was talking about.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 13 and 16 degrees, peaking at highs between 26 and 29.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M2 East. This is heading towards the Geldenhuys interchange. Delays coming out of Silver Street. There's also queuing traffic along the M1 North. In fact, about a 15-minute hold-up between Boysons Road and Carr Street.
The top story this hour, consumers are being urged to prioritize peace of mind over the pressure to spend this Black Friday.
Part of the 702 family.
Hi 702 lenders, my name is Karabo Siputi from Johannesburg. I'm a regular 702 listener. I find it very informative, from breaking news to current news, travel, entertainment. I'm always going to listen to 702 for as long as I'm here. And yeah, keep up the good work and keep informing us and empowering us with all the knowledge.
Welcome to our 702 family. Let's walk the talk.
Whether it is a CCMA referral, problems with a mechanic, unfair blacklisting, or an uncontested divorce, Clientele Legal offers professional legal services to all South Africans. Our plans are affordable, and you receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year.
We cover civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Our nationwide legal teams are standing by to support you 24 hours a day. Plus, all plans include a 5,000 Rand bail benefit. Join today. SMS legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
You want to build a quality home, the eye-catching jewel of the town, but your personality type is bargain hunter. It's only been 2 months and your quality home is the neighborhood nightmare. So abantu bazotini about the peeling paint that you call abstract art, the cracked walls that look like frown lines. Skip the embarrassment and the hunting. Make smarter decisions for your home. Visit Cash Build online to order quality cement, paint, and more at the lowest prices. Cash Build.
Hi, this is Carol Shabalala, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. It's more fun when it's for fun. Playing responsibly is always a winning strategy. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Standard Bank and 702 have joined forces to bring you China Unlocked.
As much as we love our wine in South Africa, it is relatively unknown in the Chinese market. A show like Pro Wine Shanghai gives us the opportunity to educate more of the Chinese market around South African wines and elevate the knowledge around South African wines and grow our exports of wines. And this year, for the first time, as you had mentioned, we took part in food and hospitality China. This is more tailored for the finished products or agro-processed products such as rooibos and also other products that you can source directly from South Africa.
Don't miss China Unlocked on 702 Drive with John Perlman. Tuesdays on 702. Brought to you by Standard Bank Business and Commercial, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Yo, Amu, kill me again. Hi, you and I, Kavela. Yeah. No, Kavela is a turn off, guys. Yo, you made my morning. Amu, Lucia from Pretoria.
Good morning, 702 lenders. Yo, Bongani. Yo, Batom, please don't talk about that Kavela. I hate that shoe. You know that Kavela, Yadi, Skotani, the one that they used to buy a vanilla custard and just pour it on those shoes, like, those Kotanis. Yo, I hate that shoe. I hate it with passion.
Morning, Bongani. Are you not confusing Brentwood with Dickies? Because there was a trouser that was called Dickies. It comes with a shirt. It will normally be worn in brown, but popularly in khaki. So you wear the trouser with its shirt. So that is the one that used to be cut a lot of times, like the way you were saying. But for Brentwood has always been classy for the pantsolas and very expensive. So I'm not sure. Maybe you are confusing the two. Obi, thank you.
Obi, you're probably right. I hated them even when they were in fashion, so I didn't really, I suppose, bother to find out what it was called. And perhaps the less said about these pants, the better, because who knows, somebody might just think to bring them back.
EWN Sport.
Cindy, so much on the go in sport. A very good morning to you, by the way. You and I haven't seen each other for a moment, so lots to catch up on. Let's start with the football.
Yeah.
Liverpool, what on earth is going on?
So I think this is, nobody, well, actually, I think it's tough when I'm trying to process all of it.
Yeah.
Because it really is it's a spiral.
Yeah.
It's a downward spiral that
Yeah.
they're in at the moment. We see this with top teams, right? I think you and I were talking about it the other day about the
Mid-level
Springboks,
teams now.
blah, 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 and how teams have their cycles.
Yeah.
So Liverpool were in such a good run and dominating for so long. And nobody likes a dominant team in any sport because it kind of kills it for everybody else, right? And I think this one is a massive one because it's their worst spiral in 71 years. So, I mean, Liverpool, they were top in the 80s. They kind of like flailed a bit in the 90s, but they're back. They're back and they were doing so well.
Yep.
Under Jurgen Klopp, and now you're just going, hang on a second. Arne Slot comes in, he wins them the league. He did so well, etc., his first, and then everyone's going, but was that Klopp handing over a good team? They had a couple of players leave.
Still in there, yeah.
They had a player die. So it's really, you wonder what's going on. But last night's 4-1 loss to PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League is really something that I think the fans are waking up to, going, oh, I hope Cindy's not on radio this morning because we know she's going to have a field time.
So
but
how
actually,
many defeats now?
So it's 9 defeats in 12 matches.
Jeez.
Yeah. And it's 3 consecutive losses in all competitions by a margin of 3 goals. I think that's the big thing as well. It's not like a 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. And that's their worst since 1953. And so Liverpool fans are saying, well, maybe Arne Slot needs to go. So from hero to villain in literally 5 months. But he says he's not worried about his job.
I see enough moments that players show their quality, but it doesn't reflect in the score. That is clear. But no, I'm not worried. What I mean with that is that my focus is on other things than worrying about my own position. I try to analyze, try to help the players as much as I can, and it's obvious that I don't do it in the way I did that last season. Again, I need to do better, and that's why I'm trying to do every single day to improve the team, and that is where my main focus is.
You say, Cindy, no one wants a dominant team, unless, of course, it's the team you support.
Well, I know you were speaking about Arsenal, right?
Yes.
And you weren't here for yesterday for Orlando Pirates' victory on Tuesday night. So with Arsenal, it's fascinating because they're a team that did well as well, but haven't done well in quite a while. They've always they're just there. They're like,
close,
so you
no
want
cigar.
them to win. Yeah. Like you're like, okay, this is Arsenal's year, right?
Yeah.
So they ended Bayern Munich's unbeaten run with a 3-1 win. For Real Madrid, Mbappe was the hero. He scored all 4 goals in a 4-3 win over Olympiacos. PSG's 5-3 win over Spurs included a hat-trick from Vitinha. Inter Milan's perfect run is over. They lost 2-1 to Atletico Madrid. Well, back home, Stellenbosch came from a goal down to beat Orbit College 2-1. Playing the last 10 minutes with 10 men, Stelly scored 2 goals in the last 3 minutes of the game for only their 3rd win of the season. And we can speak of the brilliance of the Proteas who thrashed India by 408
tweeting,
runs.
Declare now, it's enough.
That was me. Did you see me saying declare? Shukri Conrad actually saying they just really wanted to stick it to them. And I was like, brave, because if they don't, but then we did. So, okay, well done. They thrashed India by 408 runs for a whitewash series win, a first test series win in India since Hansi Cronje did it in 2000. But we also need to speak about the drop of India's standards, right? Their heaviest ever defeat and their 2nd home series defeat in just 2 years. Since Gautam Gambhir took over as coach in July last year, India have won 7 tests but lost 10. He's feeling the pressure.
Test cricket is never easy when you're playing against a top quality side, because I hate using this word transition. This is exactly what transition is. When you've got in test cricket, when you've got your batting lineup, which is literally played less than 15-20 test matches, they need time to absorb pressure, they need time to keep getting better against quality attacks and against quality sides.
Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Good morning, Uncle Bongani. My name is Kacho and I'm 10 years old. I go to Brooklyn Montessori School. When I grow up, I want to become a soccer player. I can't wait to play the Whiz Quiz with you.
We can't wait to play with you too. Gajo, can you walk away with 10,000 Rand?
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN traffic.
Right, let's catch up with the roads. More delays on the M2 West. What's going on?
That's correct, Bongani. Well, this is between Silver Street and Cleveland Road. Please be on the lookout there. About a 20-minute hold-up. So heading towards Germiston could be a bit problematic this morning. Please try to use the N12 East through the Reading interchange instead. I'll have more details coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Elevate your flying experience with Lift Premium. Enjoy even more space, comfort, and convenience with priority boarding, extra baggage allowance, and complimentary lounge access. Visit lift.co.za today.
Black Friday weekend is now on at Checkers. Save up to 50% on deals like Championship Boerewors for 99 Rand per kilo. Parmalat Gouda or cheddar cheese 850 grams, any for 99 Rand, save 51 Rand. And Pampers Premium disposable nappies or pants for 189 Rand, save 141 Rand. Deals valid until Sunday, 30 November 2025. Only at Checkers and Checkers Hyper. In-store only.
Do you suffer from heartburn and hyperacidity? To relieve heartburn for the whole day and night with one tablet, a potent once-a-day treatment which was previously prescription only is now available over the counter. Ask your pharmacist for an over-the-counter, long-lasting heartburn treatment. Brought to you by Sandoz.
Coming up in the next hour, 3,000 Rand up for grabs. And what's the question? Brought to you by Outurance. Send us an answer based on something you heard on the show. We'll give you 1,000 Rand. WhatsApp us your name and answer to 072 702 1702. Later, someone will ask a question to win 2,000 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now, and Outurance could save you on your car insurance.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Right, let's give away some cash, shall we? We're playing with 10-year-old Kaho today. Kaho, a very, very good morning to you. Are you ready to play?
Yes, Uncle Bongani.
Tomorrow's Black Friday. If you win, what will you do with the money?
I'll go shopping with it.
You'll go shopping with it. I like that answer. Let's see how much we can give you. Hey, good luck.
Okay.
All right.
You.
KG, start the clock. What is the process where a caterpillar turns into a butterfly? Is it photosynthesis or is it metamorphosis?
Metamorphosis.
Correct. Does the word rant mean flatter or rage?
Rage.
Correct. In which sport would you perform a slam dunk?
Basketball.
Correct. What is 40 divided by 2?
20.
Correct. A group of fish is called a school or a pride?
A school.
Correct. How many sides does a triangle have?
3.
Correct. The abbreviation SAPA stands for South African Police what?
Service.
Correct. True or false? Volcanoes are formed by molten rock erupting from Earth's interior.
True.
Correct. Spell the word default.
D-E-F-A-C-L-T.
Correct. We just ran out of time. Oh my gosh, Kaho. You got everything you answered correct. Just one more question. 900 Rand is what you walk away with. 900 Rand. Well done. Well done, mate. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good.
You should. You're very, very bright. Keep reading. Keep being curious.
Okay.
Keep looking for information. You're going to do just well. Kaho there inspiring us to start this day. 900 Rand he won. Right? I was at the edge of my seat. Oh my gosh. All right, let's move on.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Giving updates on matters in the courts and current affairs. That is her tagline on social media. She really is brilliant. Khumutso Modisa joins us now in the studio because with so many parallel processes underway at the same time, some of them investigating sort of the same things. You blink it and you miss it. And so what we've decided to do is to kind of every week give you a wrap-up of what's been unfolding. Khumutso, as always, a great pleasure to have you with us in the studio, especially. Let's start with the Road Accident Fund. We've spoken to the SCOPA chair, the Standing Committee on Public Accounts chair, Songezo Zibi, a number of times on this. And one of the things he made very clear was that if Collins Letswalo refused to appear before the committee, he would be he'd be arrested.
Absolutely. Good morning, Bongani. So, there's this threat from SCOPA to
basically lay criminal charges against Collins Letswalo. And what we know is that the Committee for Public Accounts has approached Parliament, the National Assembly Speaker in particular, for concurrence on this, to say, let's carry out this process. And that's because Collins Letswalo failed to appear before SCOPA, and he was handed summons, but he ignored those completely. And it seems he's refused to be held accountable. Now, I saw his interview with the SABC Bongani, where he was speaking to Clement Matlala, where he had detailed how, for him, SCOPA is not the correct body for him to account to. He says his biggest challenge with this is that, number one, there are clear directives on where he should account. And he also says that his problem with this particular inquiry before SCOPA is that Songezo Zibi plays so many roles in this. From being,
he calls him the witness, jury, prosecution, judge.
Everything.
And
he says he doesn't want to account there. But I think my biggest question and challenge with that then is, I mean, this is an opportunity for you to account. And Collins Letswalo, if you've been following him, had been the person who'd always come out to say that he wants to save the RAF from losing all this money through corruption. You remember how he almost closed the tap on those channels that the lawyers were using in order to help claimants at the RAF. And he seemed like a champion, an anti-corruption champion. So I think it's rather interesting that a man that branded himself as this person who wanted to restore the organization is now refusing to be held accountable.
So what happens now? Because for 2 days they waited for him and he didn't show up, and doesn't seem that he wants to. What happens now?
So SCOPA is adamant that he be criminally investigated. And the process really does start, at least from SCOPA's point of view, with getting Parliament to agree, or the National Assembly in particular, to agree. They've approached the Speaker to back their decision. And then they go into the police. And then a criminal investigation will happen, and it will be seen how Collins Letswalo can be held accountable. And if he can be, I've been thinking about the charges that he could potentially face. I suppose they'll have to craft a case, Bongani, that speaks to the fact that he's failed in his obligation to account.
Well, he'll also have to explain how, for example, the security budget went from 500,000 to several million for his protection, those armored vehicles, all of that, which, according to the security assessments SCOPA has seen, was probably not necessary. Now, let's move on to another big story this week, and this involves the MKP Member of Parliament, Duduzile Zuma, who is being accused of recruiting potential combatants to go fight in Ukraine. We were scheduled to speak to one of them, who phoned us in desperation saying, I need to get out. And this is the last voice note he sent to us. It's in isiZulu, I'll translate, but it's quite chilling.
Siyahamba manje sihamba manje la siyakhona amafoni awafuneki bazowathatha, so angazi noma siyagcina ukukhuluma nawe manje bengibikela lokho nje siyahamba manje yabo fikhomando manje sasihambeni asahambe sonke so5 angazi noma kusaqhubeka lento yaba 5 days ukuthi sihamba siya kwiwo angazi but kuthiwa amafoni azowadingeki lapho angazi hayi sizokhuluma masikwazi ukukhuluma sure.
Essentially there he says that was the moment they were being taken away. So remember, this is just a few minutes before he was going to give us an interview to tell us about his fate, how they were recruited, what they were there to do. And he said at that point they came to fetch them. In another voice note, I think to one of my producers, he says they were being given combat gear and he wasn't certain if they're going to come out of this thing alive.
Sure.
Will Duduzile come out politically alive from this?
You know, Bongani, my heart just sinks when I listen to that voice note, because what we're hearing here is that these were unsuspecting people that had no idea what lay ahead. And Duduzile Zuma, I think she recognizes, what's going on here. And that's why she's come out to say it wasn't me, And she says that she also was duped. She also was deceived. And she's gone to the police.
I'm a little thin on the everybody was duped. I mean, we don't have enough ways to train security guards in this country because ostensibly that's what they were told. But all these families are pointing the finger at her.
Absolutely.
And her woes could worsen.
Yeah, but she understands the seriousness of this, and I think that's why now she's coming out to frame it as she has. Now, whether it's true or not, I suppose it's for the police to determine. There is an investigation that's underway. It's still currently at inquiry stage, Bongani. That means that the police are seeking to establish whether there is any culpability, any people that can be held liable, if there are any crimes committed. It's at an elementary phase.
Her own sister laying the criminal complaint?
Yep, the sister lays a criminal complaint. She then lays another criminal complaint, not against her sister Bongani, but against the person that she believes was the recruiter, the person that she says duped them. And that's what's at play here. But I think the priority should be getting these people back home.
All right, very quickly. Last night, the Chief Justice, Mandisa Moyo, issuing a statement raising her concern about the judiciary being caught up in accusations of impropriety. No better example than Judge Pahlane accused of 2 million rand bribery?
Yeah, that story, absolutely insane. Judge Portia Pahlane, who sits on the bench in the Pretoria High Court, accused of taking money, taking bribes from one Michael Sandlana. Now, Michael Sandlana is one of the 3 people who believe they are the rightful leaders of the IPHC Church. And there'd been a succession battle that's been playing out in the Pretoria High Court that Pahlane had been presiding over. And investigators in the state claims they have evidence, Bongani, that proves to the fact that Pahlane was paying or was paid by Sandlane for judgments in his favor. Yesterday, she was in the Pretoria High Court. She had a mask on. So was her son, 32-year-old Kagiso Pahlane, as well as another accused who is the spokesperson for the IPHC Jerusalem faction. But yes, I mean, this is extremely concerning for the judiciary, especially in a time like this where there are allegations lingering from that July 6th press briefing by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. It really speaks to what's going on here within South Africa's judiciary.
What is it about this surname, Pahlane?
I did not want to go there.
Let's not go there. Thank you very much for that update. I think you've put it really, really succinctly, and we've got a sense of what's going on with those. Humuzo Modise from Eyewitness News.
702. Coming up, the big interview.
Up next, why is the Tanzanian president being taken to the International Criminal Court? All of that to come after this Eyewitness News, brought to you by Bathroom Bazaar, pulling the plug on high prices.
This is EWN.
Ramaphosa says South Africa will not succumb to insults from another country as Trump holds G20 invite, and Ket Matlala says he felt harassed by Bengitsele demanding money. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa will continue to participate as a full member of the G20 after US President Donald Trump's announcement that the country will not be invited to the gathering in Miami next year. Trump took to his Truth social media platform to announce his decision again based on false claims about horrific human rights abuses suffered by white farmers in South Africa. Since his return to the White House this year, Trump has peddled disinformation against South Africa of a white genocide. He snubbed this year's G20 that took place on African soil for the first time and ordered its presidency be handed over to a U.S. deputy ambassador. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Magwenya.
South Africa is a member of the G20 in its own name and right. Its G20 membership is at the behest of all other members. South Africa is also a sovereign, constitutional, democratic country and does not appreciate insults from another country about its worth in participating in global platforms.
Alleged underworld figure Vusmuzi Ket Matlala's first appearance before Parliament's ad hoc committee has revealed some shocking details, such as a R500,000 rand bribe to former Minister Bengitsele for political favours. Matlala yesterday told the committee that's investigating alleged police corruption that Cele lied under oath when he alleged their relationship was about exchanging vital information. He also claims that Cele was able to help stop police harassment and raids at his properties as part of the arrangements between them. Matlala made the allegations while giving evidence at the Kgosi Mampuru prison in Pretoria, where he's jailed. Babalo Denze was there.
Vusimuzi Ket Matlala claims former police minister Bengitsele was willing to help stop raids at his properties on condition that he withdraws his court challenge. Matlala's court entered it was against alleged police harassment, related to a disputed multi-million rand tender awarded to Matlala's company. Matlala also claims he paid Cele 500,000 rand in 2 payments when questioned by EFF leader Julius Malema.
I gave him money twice. How much did you give him, the first one and the second one? I gave him 300,000, and then on the second occasion I gave him 200,000.
Matlala also told Malema and the committee that Cele lied under oath about their relationship and the nature of the payments.
Yes, he lied under oath. Thank you. If he was asking, he was seeking information, why would he even ask me to ask my protectors to take him and his wife to a wedding somewhere in Lanseria?
Matlala's evidence continues today, where he will respond to more questions around payments he made to politicians and senior police officials. Babalo Ndenza, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
A disgraced Gauteng High Court judge has been barred from entering the Pretoria High Court amid her corruption and money laundering case. Judge Portia Patlane was arrested this week and appeared in the Commercial Crimes Court together with her son Kagiso and the leader of the Jerusalem faction of the International Pentecost Holiness Church, Michael Sandlana. Patlane is accused of taking bribes in excess of 2 million rand from Sandlane during a church succession battle that she is presiding over in the High Court. The judge, her son, and Vusindala, the church spokesperson, were granted bail yesterday, but Patlane was kept behind bars. Khumozo Modise reports.
Over the last couple of months, Judge Portia Patlane has been hearing an IPHC church succession battle involving Michael Sandlana, who's one of the 3 men who claim to be the rightful leader of the church. But she now stands with him as a co-accused, facing 19 counts of corruption, collectively with 2 other accused, including her son Kagiso and church spokesperson Vusindala. When she granted Judge Patlane 50,000 rand bail, Magistrate Nika Setsogwe gave conditions, including that she surrenders her passport.
The accused number 4 is prohibited from entering the buildings of the High Courts until further notified or an application may be brought to court for the amendment of such a condition.
Judge Patlane claims the charges are as a result of a personal vendetta by parties in the church succession case. Khumozo Modise, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
And the rule of law is again under threat in Guinea-Bissau following the latest military coup. Army bosses say they have seized total control of the coup-prone West African country, arresting its president, closing its borders and suspending its electoral processes 3 days after general elections. Heavy gunfire rang out near the presidential palace yesterday, with men in military uniform taking over the main road leading to the building. Guinea-Bissau has experienced 4 coups since independence, as well as multiple attempted coups, and political stability was one of the major issues in the election, given the country's turbulent past. UN spokesperson Stephen Dujarric.
The Secretary General is following the situation with deep concern. He appeals to all national stakeholders in Guinea-Bissau to exercise restraint and respect the rule of law. The Secretary General will continue to closely follow the situation in the country as it unfolds.
Gold is trading at $4,153.10 an ounce. The rand is at 17.11 to the dollar, 22.69 to the pound, 19.85 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $62.79 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes on the N1 North. This is between the N12 exit and the Deep Kloof interchange, bumper-to-bumper traffic there. And if you're thinking of using the Golden Highway to navigate your ways around the south of Joburg, Golden Highway is also heavily backed up due to those roadworks that are taking place along the route. One lane has been closed off to traffic until the roadworks on the other lane are finished. So as a result, we've got another 20-minute hold-up along this route. Please be on the lookout there.
And in your sport, Arsenal the only unbeaten side in the Champions League after a 3-1 win over Bayern, while Liverpool went down 4-1 to Eindhoven. In the Betway Premiership, a 10-man Stellenbosch beats Orbit College 2-1, and India drops to 5th in the World Test Championship standings after a record 408-run loss to the Proteas.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa will continue to participate as a full member of the G20 after US President Donald Trump's announcement that the country will not be invited to the gathering in Miami next year.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
For mind-blowing bathroom specials, come to Bathroom Bazaar. It's Black Friday week at Bathroom Bazaar. You get 15% off everything at Bathroom Bazaar and Plum Bazaar this week only. That's right, 15% off everything. Only at Bathroom Bazaar and Plum Bazaar while stocks last. Sale ends 30 November. That's Pizarre. Come to Bathroom Bazaar. Come to Bathroom Bazaar. Pulling the plug on high prices.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 7 o'clock, the president quite firm in his response to that Truth Social statement by the American president, who tweeted yesterday, or do you call it tweeting if it's on Truth Social? Lie Social is more accurate, I suppose. The United States did not attend the G20 in South Africa because the South African government refuses to acknowledge or address the horrific human rights abuses endured by Afrikaners and other descendants of Dutch, French, and German settlers. To put it more bluntly, they are killing white people and randomly allowing their farms to be taken from them. I mean, he continues with this nonsense, does Donald Trump, and he blames the fake news media and names publications like the New York Times as those who will not perpetuate this lie and agree with him. Quite what he thinks, the German Chancellor, the French President, the British Prime Minister, the Brazilian President, the Indian Prime Minister, the Japanese Prime Minister, all of those who were here, quite what he thinks they believe is going on is unclear. But he says South Africa cannot come to the G20 in 2026, which will be hosted in Miami, Florida. The president, our president now, Ramaphosa, saying, well, hang on, we are a founding member of this thing. Our officials were key. They played a pivotal role in how it was established. It's not up to you to invite or disinvite. It made me think of this song. And this is the part. This is the part that's important. Here we go. Here we go.
But you're not allowed. You're uninvited. Unfortunate.
Oh man, one of the fantastic songs of the 90s. Uninvited by Alanis Morissette. That is what Donald Trump is saying to South Africa. You're not invited. You are going to be alone. Will everybody else who came to the G20, who high-fived us, who said what a great job we did, will they stand with us? What does it mean that Trump is now going to stop payments to the South African government, any assistance that he was providing, subsidies, all of that to stop effective immediately? What will that mean institutionally for South Africa? It's a real worry, this.
You see, what Donald Trump doesn't get, Bongani, is that we are South Africans. We are South African. We rock up, Baba. Invite us, uninvite us, we rock up. You know what? I won't be surprised if he says, Bafana mustn't come to his country next year for the World Cup. We will rock up. So like it or not, we're going there. Tandangata, and we're going there. Quarter from Ton Park.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Yeah, Khotsa from Don Park. Well, Denmark. I'm not sure it's that simple. Because whether you like the orange man or not, his decisions have real consequence on the global stage. But on the other hand, what do? Do we just sort of lie back and let him do as he wishes? It really is a difficult time. Hopefully, between now and then, some sense will prevail. All right, we're getting a call from Dr. D. Blackie, who is the manager of the Children's Memorial Institute. Dr. Blackie, good morning. What's going on? I believe you've got some issues this morning.
Absolutely. Bongani, we've been without electricity for over a week now. Our electricity got turned off by the department, the city power and the city of Johannesburg. And they are claiming that Health, who run their laundry from our premises, have not paid them 41 million rand.
Wow.
So we've asked repeatedly, to have our electricity supply separated from the laundry for years. And unfortunately, we keep getting told, no, that's not possible. This is an account held by the Department of Health. Unfortunately, we have two things happening on our campus. So obviously, beyond the laundry, we also have the Johannesburg School for Autism, which looks after 365 learners.
Yes.
And then we have 20 NGOs, and most of them offer some form of essential service. So whether it's Gauteng Childline, who fields around 800 calls a day, with 16 days of activism, we're seeing a huge increase in calls. We've only got so much fuel left in our emergency generator, and then we're going to have to switch over to an emergency solution where we probably will only be able to pick up about 25% of those calls.
41 million rand?
So
they say you owe. What is
41 million rand.
What is the city of Joburg saying about this? I mean, you've explained the uniqueness
Absolutely.
of your situation.
I mean, we got a... They switched our water off in June of this year, and we got an urgent interdict from the High Court, which made them switch it back on. And we were actually in negotiations with their lawyers and with the various government institutions that are responsible for this bill to say, please, we're getting caught in the middle. We have to resolve this. We had scheduled a meeting for the 11th of December where we were going to complete the debatement discussion. And next thing is a representative from City Power arrived last Wednesday and just switched the electricity off. No warning, no nothing.
What has happened to the children since?
Well, we have been using an emergency generator, and so we have been open. But unfortunately, from today, we have to actually switch off all of the electricity to the centre, other than to our two major essential services, the one being Childline and the one being the dentistry. And we're just hoping that we can get some support. My understanding is the laundry is just paying for diesel and running off diesel. Unfortunately, our NGOs just don't have those kinds of resources.
All right, Dr. Blackie,
and the challenge is that,
I tell you what, we'll try and get a hold of the city of Johannesburg and maybe even the Department of Health to try and see if sense can prevail in this situation, because as you say, it's been 6 days now?
7 days. This is our 8th day.
8 days without power. All right, that's a very critical service many of those NPOs provide. City of Joburg, if you are listening, do get in touch with us. Try and explain this, and let's see if we can get to some kind of resolution. We'll also try and call the Department of Health to see what we can do.
7:02. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN.
This EWN traffic is brought to you by Outurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Roadworks on the N17 West. Amo?
That's correct, Bongani, causing heavy traffic volumes between Rondebult Road and Heidelberg Road. Please be on the lookout there. And there's also queuing traffic on the same area on the N12 West between Snake Road and the R21. Now that's due to an accident, about a 15-minute hold up there. And if you are traveling towards Jameson, do expect delays on the M2 East. This is between Silver Street and Cleveland Road. More updates coming up. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outurance Pointman can't help with your child's last-minute volcano school project, but they can help ease traffic congestion so you can get to the stationery store in time to get supplies. With the Outurance Pointman on the roads for the past 20 years, we can all get to where we need to be quickly and safely. Outurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag #PointsmanLove. Outurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
All right, let's turn our attention now to a story that really is growing concerning by the day. Is democracy receding on the continent? I've told you about the Tanzanian president, Samia Suluhu Hassan, whose government is now accused of orchestrating a brutal crackdown following the 2025 election. Remember the one where she won 98% of the vote because most of the opposition were either behind bars or said to be ineligible. Civil society groups, including Intel Watch, are now preparing to take a case to the International Criminal Court, and they're citing human rights abuses and even new digital era crimes like surveillance, spyware use, and internet blackouts. And they're saying these are tools used to hide repression. We are joined now by Paula Christina Roque, who is the executive director of Intel Watch, to talk to us about the story. Paula, firstly, welcome to 702 Breakfast. Thank you for your time. Can you talk us through, in very simple terms, what your ICC submission alleges?
Thank you, Bongani, and good morning to everyone. So it's been already submitted, and so this is the first of 4 submissions to the ICC. This first submission sets the jurisdiction of why the ICC has jurisdiction and has to act, why local courts are not independent and lack the capacity to try the leadership, given that they are captured and they are partisan. It also sets the explanation of what happened. So we go into very factual detail of the 29th. Elections were held in Tanzania on the 29th. Like you said rightly, there was no democratic conditions for free, fair and elections. Observation missions from the AU and SADC took the unprecedented step of declaring as such. Normally, these observation missions, in a way or another, unfortunately, rubber stamp elections that fall free of democratic standards, but these didn't. So it's unequivocal. These were not elections. These were sham elections to be able to put in a president that had lost credibility and legitimacy, and the vast majority of the population, specifically the Gen Z, want her out. So
why the ICC though? Because if I remember, I think there are 4 pillars in terms of jurisdiction, and that would be genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, or crimes of aggression. Can they have a say on this?
So yes, so the ICC is the only international tribunal that allows for NGOs and civil society and other parties to submit a case. So the International Court of Justice can only be submitted, a case can only be submitted before it by a state party. The same goes with any other UN tribunal that has to be approved by the Security Council, etc. So this is the only avenue that we have as NGOs through Article 15 of the Rome Statute to put a case before the ICC, which is wonderful because it allows the little people like us to say, hold power to account.
All right.
And yeah.
Sorry, Paula.
So let me carry on telling you why this is important. So the what happened on the 29th, we had 3 days of absolute massacre. It was 3 days where we had a private militia that was composed, uncommissioned, unofficial, trained by, from what I hear, sources within the intelligence services and the military in Tanzania, by Ugandans, Israelis, and the UAE, armed by mercenaries via Uganda. And they came in from Zanzibar. Now, you'll remember that Tanzania is a union of Tanganyika and Zanzibar. Now,
Yes.
This is problematic because the violence was only committed in the mainland. The president is Zanzibari, so she spared her island and completely conducted a targeted and massacre of, we believe, between 5,000 and 10,000 people in 10 days. In 3 days.
Dead.
Dead. We have lists of going up to 8,000. that NGOs are compiling, but we have many missing. And families, we don't know what happened
Paula,
to them.
that's an extraordinary figure. I'm going to have to interrupt you. That's an extraordinary figure. I mean, firstly, I don't think there's been incredibly extensive coverage of this. And how were these people killed?
So they were killed. There were protests. So on the 29th, the opposition had started a campaign, which is no reforms, no elections. And so people took to the streets. And they were on the streets, and the police opened fire into the crowds. Now, crowd control normally precludes things like tear gas and rubber bullets, and no, this was live fire. And the order was given to kill. But the level of killing was unprecedented. And we believe, but this still needs to be investigated, that this was also done under the command of President Samia's son, who is one of an unofficial head of the Tanzanian intelligence services.
How do you get to several thousand? I mean, what evidence do you have of that?
So within the first, in 2 morgues alone, so the opposition has come out with a figure of around 3,000. Now, the morgue started piling bodies. The hospitals were completely overwhelmed with the dead, but also the injured. The police came in, took the injured, and they also disappeared. So the minute they started killing, they also started concealing evidence, even those that were alive. So the morgues, in one morgue, one referral hospital in one of the big cities. So this happened all over. It wasn't just Arusha, Dodoma, and Dar es Salaam. It happened all over the country. And one morgue in itself had about 800 corpses. Now, if you keep looking at the figures of the morgues, and that wasn't it only, because after the mass killings on the streets, you had targeted killings, and we have thousands of videos and images of people that had gunshots to the head. So there was a shoot to kill policy. People whose houses, the courtyards, had about 3 dead bodies in there. So the police, or whoever these civilian dressed assassins, because they were, and we have images of them. There are even geolocation studies and investigations of snipers. People were shot in the back, in the head, running at 100, and they were shot at 110 meters. So they were nowhere near the police. They were nowhere near protests around security officers. They were not a threat. And so in people's homes, you have so many of these videos.
Gosh.
I mean, doctors afterwards were threatened at gunpoint and told, do not release figures. You will be punished if you release figures, and punished as in you too will be abducted and killed. But some did. Some took videos of morgues with bodies piled up. I mean, it's something that we only saw, unfortunately, in the 90s in Bosnia and Rwanda. I mean, it's heartbreaking.
It sounds like an horrific bloodbath there, Paula. We'll keep an update on this story as you make more submissions, and of course the response by the ICC to the horrors that you've just described. And it's extraordinary that there's been very little attention paid by the world's media to this story. Thank you so much for talking to us.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by South African Airways. SAA now operates 2 flights a day to Gaborone with morning and afternoon departures. Book now at flysaa.com. Amo?
Bongani, there's a major accident on the N12 West. This is in the Boksburg area. It's right near the R21 turnoff. It's causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of Patfontein Road. Please be on the lookout there and expect about a 30-minute hold-up altogether. If you're traveling towards areas like Bedford View as well as Edenville, please try to use the R21 as well as the R24 as a result. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Experience Johannesburg to Gaborone with South African Airways, where comfort meets convenience. Enjoy premium service, flexible morning and afternoon departures, and the warm hospitality SAA is known for. For a limited time, return fares start from just 2,700 Rand all-inclusive. Book by 4 December at flysaa.com. South African Airways, bringing you closer. T's and C's apply.
You want to build a quality home, the eye-catching jewel of the town, but your personality type is bargain hunter. It's only been 2 months and your quality home is the neighborhood nightmare. So abantu bazotini about the peeling paint that you call abstract art, the cracked walls that look like frown lines. Skip the embarrassment and the hunting. Make smarter decisions for your home. Visit Cash Build online to order quality cement, paint and more at the lowest prices. Cash Build.
Do you suffer from heartburn and hyperacidity? To relieve heartburn for the whole day and night with one tablet, a potent once-a-day treatment which was previously prescription only is now available over the counter. Ask your pharmacist for an over-the-counter, long-lasting heartburn treatment. Brought to you by Sandoz.
And the award for the spiciest stunt performed in a bowl goes to Tom Yum Cruise.
Thank you everyone. Wow, what an honor. I'd like to thank the chilies, the lemongrass, and of course, Simply Asia for believing in my flavor.
It's the summer of stars at Simply Asia. Stand a chance to win a Toyota Starlet when you spend 200 Rand or more on our famous flavors. Order now. Simply Asia, connecting the Thaiway.
EWN Business.
Right, this business report proudly brought to you by GIC. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC sets a better standard of living. GIC, changing lives. Nokanya Mdambo in for Muteo Kharipa. Eskom facing a conundrum over union pay demands. Nokanya?
Yeah,
so on the one hand?
Yeah, on the one hand, you've got Eskom's hard-won financial gains in the 2025 financial year being at risk of being wiped up by workers' demands for pay increases that are well above the official inflation rate. On the other hand, a failure to secure a wage deal could put the state-owned power utility at risk of a strike that could have severe consequences for the economy. Eskom has just more than 40,000 employees and its wage bill for 2025 amounted to 43 billion rand. The three recognized unions at Eskom, NUMSA, NUM and Solidarity are demanding pay increases of up to 15% compared to the official inflation rate of 3.6%. A 15% increase would see some salaries jump by 12,900 rand to more than just close to 99,000 rands a month on average. And a hike like that could, of course, severely dent the company's finances after it reported a profit of 16 billion rands for the first time in about 8 years.
They have us exactly where they want us, right? Because we want those lights on, man. All right, government announcing a blanket foot and mouth vaccination for cattle.
Yeah, and that's for the entire national herd of cattle in an effort to contain the foot and mouth disease. This is more than 7 million cattle on the continent's biggest beef producer. The inoculation drive is expected to start with the provinces hardest hit by the latest foot and mouth outbreak, which is KZN, Gauteng, Free State, Mpumalanga and the Northwest, with livestock and poultry industries accounting for a combined 50% of South Africa's farming economy. This sort of intervention is critical for economic stability.
So if you have a cow in your life, make sure they've got the shot, hey?
Correct.
Where's the rand?
A weak dollar, Bongani, giving us a strong rand this morning, 17.12 to the dollar, 19.86 to the euro, 22.68 to the pound. Gold is trading at $4,153 an ounce. Platinum at $1,614. The price of Brent crude at $62.14. More business after 8.
Change requires skill, an agile body to fill the gaps. But real change moves collaboratively, progressively, enabling, because it knows what to do and how to improve the lives of the deserving. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC actively brings change for the better, because real change sets a standard of living, of being. GIC, changing lives.
Now, this Eyewitness News is brought to you by Outurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Swiss Zulu, will the KZN Premier stay or will he go?
That's the big question, Bongani. Good morning. Some parties in the KwaZulu-Natal coalition government are opposed to a motion of no confidence in Premier Thamsanqa Ntuli. The MK party has announced to the legislature its intention to have Ntuli removed from his position. The party claims the provincial government under Ntuli's leadership is misusing funds, something the Premier has denied. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports from KZN.
MK party member of KZN legislature Bongani Bingwa told the House about his reasons for a motion of no confidence on Premier Thamsanqa Ntuli.
Financial mismanagement, misleading this House on his New York trip, and failure to address unemployment and poverty. I shall so move.
Ntuli says a proper report was finished on the New York trip. Meanwhile, the DA's Francois Rogers, also MEC for the Finance Department in the Executive Council, said his party will oppose the motion.
Absolutely. We're part of the government of provincial unity. We're not perfect, but we're a damn sight better than the MK.
Meanwhile, the ANC's Boniso Duma had this to say.
Ordinarily, we want to govern on our own. But at this point in time, the advanced judgment of the ANC is clinical on the approach. As long as the people's life has not been changed, we're still going to subject ourselves in ensuring that the needs of our people is what is the priority.
The NFP at a national level has outlined it also wants Ntuli sacked. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
An alleged violent attack by the bodyguards of IPHC church leader Michael Sandlana have kept him behind bars, with the state planning on opposing his bail. Sandlana appeared in the Commercial Crimes Court yesterday, along with High Court Judge Portia Patlane and two others. Patlane is accused of taking bribes of more than 2 million rand from Sandlana for a judgment in his favor in a church succession matter that has been appearing before her. Sandlana is one of three men who claim to be the rightful leader of the church after Clayton Modise died in 2016. Khumuzo Modise has more.
While Judge Portia Patlane, her son Kagiso, leader of the Jerusalem faction of the IPHC, Michael Sandlana, and his spokesperson Vusindala appeared in the Commercial Crimes Court yesterday on corruption and money laundering charges, the state did not oppose bail for all but one of them. Prosecutors told the court that they needed time to evaluate Sandlana's case for bail after his bodyguards allegedly violently attacked police officers while they tried to arrest him, landing them in hospital. Hawk spokesperson Katlego Mogale.
There was an altercation where some of our members got injured and they were taken to hospital, but fortunately there wasn't as worse as it was expected, and the suspect was then arrested.
Mogale says one of the officers lost their firearm during the altercation, but it was later returned by Sandlana's security. Sandlana will return to court next week for bail application, which the state plans to oppose. Khumuzo Modise, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
Alleged underworld gang boss Nafiz Modak has remained defiant during cross-examination about allegedly planning the murder of top cop Charles Kinnear. Evidence of illegal tracking and the testimony of co-accused Zayn Killian was used in the Western Cape High Court yesterday to show Modak was behind the murder of Kinnear. The senior police officer was investigating Modak when he was shot dead outside his Bishop Levy's home in 2020. Carlo Peterson reports.
Evidence shows Nafiz Modak's co-accused Zayn Killian pinged Colonel Charles Kinnear more than 2,000 times and was paid more than 200,000 rand before Kinnear's murder in September 2020. Killian has since testified it was Modak who paid and instructed him to ping Kinnear. State Prosecutor Greg Vormeran showed the court screenshots of pings on Kinnear, which was sent from Killian's phone.
So either this is part of a conspiracy, or I'm going to argue the evidence reveals that Killian is reporting to you. It's falsehood.
Modak's cross-examination is set to resume today. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And the death toll from floods and landslides on the island of Sumatra in Indonesia has risen to 19 people. Extreme weather has battered the northern parts of the area for several days, triggering flooding and landslides in several districts across the province. Road access to the affected areas has been cut, as well as telecommunications and electricity services. At least 38 people died this month in landslides triggered by heavy rainfall in central Java, and around 13 are still missing. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, with showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 29 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North. This is between the N12 exit and the Diepkloof interchange. I'm seeing an accident between these 2 points, and that's the reason for this delay. As a result, Chris Hani Road out of Soweto is also heavily backed up towards the M1 N1 exit.
The top story this hour, some parties in KZN are opposed to a motion of no confidence in Premier Thamsanqa Ntuli.
You could spend 10 minutes waiting for the microwave to beep. Or get a 10-minute quote from Outurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. For his 2024 Suzuki Jimny, 55-year-old Stefan now pays only 611 Rand a month. And for her 2024 Kia Sonet, 31-year-old Palisa pays just 926 Rand a month. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Why are metros or municipalities not budgeting enough money for infrastructure?
Enough money must be budgeted because you are able to raise revenue. And the revenue that we are raising at the level of your metros, let's talk about metros, are there to do current maintenance. They're not even budgeting for future. Because look at the budget of Joburg. It will show you that all that they have raised, they can only manage the current challenge, not the backlog, not the future.
Councillor Lesecha Dikhale.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
The Maibuye Africa concert, the rebirth of Ubuntu, returns for one unforgettable night only. Simpiwe Dana, Judith Sepuma, Malé, Langa Mavuso, Elvis Blue and Sipa Hotsticks Mabuse, backed by a 20-piece orchestra conducted by Grammy Award winner Joe Arthur, curated and produced by the visionary Billy Monama, Opera House State Theatre, Pretoria. Saturday, 6 December 2025 at 7:30 p.m. Tickets from 350 to 1,000 Rand at Web Tickets. Proudly supported by the Department Sports, Arts and Culture, Brand South Africa, Castle Milk Stout, 702 and ENCA.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Good times is what life is all about. But heartburn, indigestion, acid reflux and UTIs can put a damper on your day. With a wide range of products from Adcock Ingram OTC, you can build a survival pack to help you and your family with your gut and urinary health. Adcock Ingram OTC has you covered with products like Citrus Soda, Adcomeo Gel, Scopex, and LP299V. Ask your pharmacist for a host of Adcock Ingram OTC solutions for your gut and urinary problems and visit beprepared365.co.za.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongani and the team. With Kat Matlala. For me, yesterday I listened, and then if in my head I was like, if you are listening to the ad hoc committee for the first time, you would say, you're okay, he's telling the truth, or somewhere there, you would believe immediately. But then if you've been listening to Madlanga and then the ad hoc committee, you would kind of be like, there's something missing here, and then something doesn't make sense, because we heard him in Madlanga recordings himself saying that Mkhunu this, Mkhunu that, and then they just want money from me. So all of a sudden, Mkhunu didn't do nothing, and only Begitela was the one wanting. So there's two sides of the story, and then there's the truth in the middle. So that's how I took it. And then with Donald.
Good morning, Bonks. I believe everything that Kit Matlala is saying. The downside is that there's no proof. That man is arrested, and he's arrested for attempted murder. And he's not even arrested for none of the things that he's been asked of in that commission. So truth of the matter is he's just going to walk away scot-free. Regardless of all the allegations against him. I might as well let him out on bail. I mean, he's only there for attempted murder. Unlike Atisomulef was already out on bail, but for two murders, So yeah, it's a failed state. I mean, what is done with the police is no different from what the Guptas did during the Zuma tenure.
We've often said state capture has continued, even though Jacob Zuma is no longer with us. Because I think perhaps the more significant thing for me is, what does it say about our political class? Bingwa himself, on his own version, said to the MPs that he was gathering information from Matlala, and that's why that association continued. And what that suggests, that in Bingwa's own mind, even though he's no longer the National Police Commissioner, and even though he's no longer the police minister, he still has influence and he can get things done. And that's exactly what Matlala understood was the case when he says he parted with a cool $500,000 to Bingwa. But not only that, provided protection services for Cele and his wife to go to weddings, allowed him to stay at his swanky villa. One Bingwa, they were meeting to have discussions at the Beverly Hills Hotel in Umhlanga in KZN. What does this tell you about our political class?
702. What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outurance. Your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. 1,000 Rand for the answer and 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question that leads us to the answer. SMS out to 45142 now, and Outurance could save you on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Bongani, and no doubt it's going to be a good one. Bongani, please give us today's answer.
Hello, Bongani. The answer today is going to be 2013.
2013, it is a good one. And tell me, Bongani, have you got yourself a quote from Outurance?
Yes.
You biscuit, 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outurance and 702. There you have it. The answer is 2013. What, pray tell, is the question? Give us a call on 011 8830 702 if you know.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, I tell you what, people who are not letting it go, are Arsenal.
I think you should revel in the sun, like, what's it? Enjoy the sunshine while it lasts.
Listen, what do they say? It shines on every dog.
Every dog
at
has
some
its
point,
day.
yeah.
Right. So let's hope so, because Arsenal beat Bayern Munich 3-1 to top the Champions League table as the only unbeaten side now. It's the Gunners' first win over Bayern in the Champions League in 10 years. Boss Mikel Arteta.
I have to praise our players because I think they had an incredible match against, in my opinion, the best team in Europe. Individually, we were immense. They know how hard we work to prepare for every single game. We know that the margins are super small. Today is another massive victory, but that's it. Now go to home, have a nice dinner, and tomorrow morning we start to prepare Stamford Bridge.
Liverpool boss Arne Slot feeling the pressure now. Last night's 4-1 loss to PSV has the Reds in their worst run in 71 years. Kylian Mbappe scored all 4 goals in Real Madrid's 4-3 win over Olympiacos. PSG's 5-3 win over Spurs included a hat-trick from Vitinha. Atletico Madrid scored in stoppage time for a 2-1 win over Inter Milan. At home in the Betway Premiership, Stellenbosch beating Orbit College 2-1. Going into the last 10 minutes of the match, Stellies had a player sent off and scored both goals for only their 3rd win of the season. India cricket coach Kasim Gambhir says there's no need to panic. Since he took over in July last year, India's won only 7 tests but lost 10. Yesterday, they suffered their heaviest ever defeat, a 408-run loss to the Proteas, who got a whitewash series win 2-0. It's India's 2nd home series defeat in 2 years. They've dropped to 5th in the World Test Championship standings. Here's Gambhir.
Look, I expect better from everyone. I expect better from myself. I'm not going to sit here and say that I expect something better from one individual. The point is, if you want to win test matches against quality sides, we need to expect better from everyone. And that is how you win test matches. You don't blame one individual shot. You don't blame one individual playing in a certain way. You blame everyone.
Locally in the T20 Challenge, the Dolphins beat Western Province by 15 runs. They'll play the Warriors tomorrow for a place in Sunday's final against Boland. And Aston Martin has appointed F1 design legend Adrian Newey as team principal, replacing Andy Cowell, who was in charge for just 13 months. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Finance and Economic Development MEC Lebogang Maile will present Gauteng's 2025 medium-term budget policy statement to the legislature on Tuesday, 2nd December 2025 at 10 a.m. MEC Maile will use the mini budget to outline the province's economic priorities, fiscal direction, and plans to drive inclusive growth and sustainable development over the medium term. Join the conversation about public finances on Facebook and X using hashtag GautengMTBPS 2025. This message is brought to you by the Gauteng Provincial Government.
Time to review my favorite employee, my FNB Gold business account. You give me thousands of potential customers by listing my business on NAV Marketplace and access to Guard Me, a bodyguard for cash drops, locking up. No other card does this. If you weren't a bank card, I'd give you a raise.
The FNB Gold business account. No other card works harder for your business because your safety is worth it. FNB, help changes everything. T's and C's apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the Opel Mokka. Turn heads in the sleek and unmissable Opel Mokka. Now on offer for only 6,775 Rand per month. At 12 to 8, what's happening on the N12 West? I'm going to give us an update on that crash.
Bongani, it's causing heavy delays. It's in the Boksburg area. It's right near the R21 turn off. So heading towards Tambo as well as Jet Park. Do expect heavy traffic volumes all the way from Patfontein Road towards the Jet Park Road exit. Do expect about a 20-minute hold up there and drive with care. If you're traveling on the N17, we've got roadworks that are taking place. They are causing delays between Carnival City and Rondebolt Road, about a 15-minute hold up there, and actually it's on both sides of the road, so please be patient along the route. And if you're traveling out of Soweto, do expect delays on Chris Hani Road approaching the M1N1 exit. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North. This is between the Golden Highway and the Deep Kloof interchange as a result of peak time pressure there. I'll have more updates for you. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Dispatch, this is Patrol. We've pulled over a compact SUV. Not too sure about the colour. Mamba, maybe. Mamba? Affirmative. Sleek. Futuristic. Different in a cool way. Definitely German. Approaching now.
Officer, do you need backup?
I just had to tell someone how cool it is.
Turn heads in the new unmissable Opel Mokka. Check out the bold design at your nearest dealer or on opel.coza.
702. What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is 2013, let's go to Debucho in Garen Park. Debucho, what's the question?
Morning, Brabonks. Today's question is, in which year did Disney's Frozen premiere in theaters?
Yes, indeed. It was that breakthrough movie of 2013. I think if you're a parent of anyone born after 2009, 2010, you've had to buy Elsa dresses. You've had to have Frozen themed parties. It's the defining movie, I think, of many a child's life. Debucho, 2,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outurance and 702. What was the defining movie of your childhood? For many kids and their parents, the last 15 years, there's been nothing bigger than Frozen. My time was Lion King. I was in matric, KG. Could I still say childhood nyan? Scrape through. Oh, I tell you what, with Outurance, every day is Black Friday, so don't let it go. Get a quote today, and if they can't beat your car insurance premium, you can ask them for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. With Outurance, you could get monthly premium savings or at least 500 Rand cash. You've got nothing to lose. Get a quote. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Join the Times Square Lights Extravaganza this December. Experience our gardens outside the Sunbet Arena come alive with bright, sparkling, festive lights. Take a stroll and discover mesmerizing photo opportunities at every turn. After that, grab a bite and drink in the Times Square festive atmosphere. Bring your friends and family and enjoy the Times Square Lights Extravaganza this December. Experience our gardens come alive with bright, sparkling, festive lights.
This Black Friday at home is giving you the chance to unbox 99% off your entire basket. That's right, you could win 99% off your total purchase. Now's the time to shop your favorite decor pieces, bedding, appliances, or that couch you've been eyeing. Shop in any at-home store from the 27th to the 30th of November, and you could be the lucky person to win 99% off your total purchase. Competition is valid in at-home stores. TFG Rewards members only. T's and C's apply. At home, imagine more.
Who says everyday driving can't be très chic? Rent premium with Sani Sixt now. Own the stylish Citroen C3 later. Yes, that's 3 cars, 3 months, 3 chances to say ooh la la. Just book directly on sani.co.za. Call us or rent at any branch between 1 November and 31 January, and you're automatically entered into the draw. Bon voyage with Sani Sixt and win. T's and C's apply.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Time now for the world of viral content. Kabzela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
Who's going to know? No one's going to know.
Well, that's what people think. And what we're talking about this morning is when it comes to cooking, there are those of us who, when we cook, we'll take ingredients from scratch and we'll, produce a beautiful meal, whether it's a starter, dessert, a starter, mains, and dessert, right? Then maybe there's those of us who are not that great in the kitchen, like some of us who get invited to go and judge MasterChef South Africa. And we may take ready-made meals and jazz it up a little bit, right? So this guy took, for Thanksgiving, he took 2 pre-made mac and cheeses, emptied it out the store packaging and put it into, 2 foil containers. Then he added maybe a little bit of chopped crispy bacon and some paprika and a little bit of extra cheese, put it in the grill and, served it up. And people asked him, please make that famous mac and cheese of yours. Now, they don't know that he buys it from the store. Of course, they might know now because he's put it online. And, that's what he does and he creates and people like it. Some people in the comments are like saying, no, you can't do that. You got to make it from scratch. It's not that hard, all this kind of stuff. But each to their own, right? But I wanted to ask our 702 family this morning, have you bought a store or a ready meal from a store and served it to your guests or, maybe just your family, but passed it off as it's your own creation?
I can't say I'm guilty because the very notion of store-bought, if it is store-bought, I will very sheepishly admit it because it's such a rare thing. Yeah. But no, certainly don't pass it off as your own creation.
And if you are invited for dinner to somebody's house, and let's say, for example, Bungles, it's midweek, and they now serve you the Woolies rotisserie chickens, which are brilliant, by the way. They are delicious. I sometimes think better than homemade rotisserie chickens or roasted chickens. And they slice it up, they put it on the table there, and you take your first bite, and you're like, this is a familiar taste. This must be the Woolies rotisserie chicken. Do you say anything, or do you just eat it and be appreciative because they've made an effort and it's midweek? So are you that kind of person, that guest, that when somebody serves you a store-bought meal, do you judge, or are you like, hey, that's cool, it's tasty anyway, and I'm happy with it? Or do you want somebody to put in the effort when it comes to cooking?
So, it's one thing if, let's say, we were watching the rugby and, then, hey, we're hungry now, let's get some, Woolies chicken. That's perfectly fine. You invite me over for dinner, midweek has nothing to do with it. You invited me for a dinner, cook the food.
Okay, so let's throw another one at you. So let's just say you're going to say, Kabazela, come over for lunch on Saturday, but you bring the dessert. Okay?
No.
Well, let's just say that this is a scenario. Because this happens. This happens sometimes.
It shouldn't happen.
But it does. And you say, bring the dessert. And I rock up there with a Woolies Mulva pudding and custard. Are you going to judge me?
Yes. This is like the bring and braai days. I've never understood people who you're braaiing and I'm as bring.
Listen, Cyril Ramaphosa's economy is tough, Bongles. This happens. It happens.
Then fine. Then let's all bring the whole story. But anyway, don't bring Malva pudding and custard, Kabazela. No.
Must I put in the effort and make it for you?
You're past 35 now.
A long time ago.
Exactly. All right, that's what's gone viral with Kabazela. In all seriousness, have you ever tried to pass off store-bought food as your own? Tell us. Nobody's going to know.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by South African Airways. SAA now operating 2 flights a day to Gaborone. Morning and afternoon departures. Book now at flysaa.com. Amo?
Bongani, there's an accident scene reported in the city of Tshwane along the N1 North. It's right near the Flying Saucer interchange. It's causing delays coming out of John Forster Drive. Please be on the lookout there and expect about a 20-minute hold-up. Traveling on the southerly direction of this route, another accident scene, slowing down traffic after Rigel Avenue. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Experience Josie to Gabs with South African Airways, where comfort meets convenience. Enjoy premium service, flexible morning and afternoon departures, and that warm hospitality SAA is known for. For a limited time, return fares start from just 2,700 Rand, all inclusive. Book by 4 December at flysaa.com. South African Airways, bringing you closer. T's and C's apply.
702 Feedback
with Siamtanda Matiso.
Matiso, of course, you would never pass off store-bought as your own.
Bongs, I would be so guilty of this. I can't cook, so I would definitely do this.
See, that's why I think you would never pass it off as your own.
But also people would know. They'll be like, this is obvious. Exactly.
So why open yourself
see you
up
guys
to those
going,
questions?
Sia, this is not yours. Anyway,
All right, any feedback?
Seriously, Bongs, there's lots of reactions when it comes to the President of the United States, Donald Trump, saying, South Africa, you are not invited to the G20 summit. And it seems like most 702 landers are in agreement that the President of the United States is being a bully here. They are also pleased by the response by the South African government to remind the United States that we are part of the G20 summit. We are the members of the G20. And also we respect sovereignty as a nation, and that they respect President Ramaphosa, because there's nothing else we can do. The president in May met with Donald Trump, and we mentioned our side of the story, and we still seems like he doesn't.
He's going to do what he's going to do anyway.
Exactly.
We could be the most polite, bend over backwards. We could perhaps have done one or two things perhaps a little differently, but even so, I suspect he would have done exactly the same.
And I'm agreeing.
So you may as well get some currency politically from your own constituencies domestically, but Trump was always going to be Trump. There's just no two ways about it. More of your reactions coming up after this Eyewitness News, brought to you by Checkers, the home of Black Friday, where you can save up to 50% this weekend.
This is EWN.
Ramaphosa is steadfast about South Africa's G20 position despite Trump's latest stance, and Ket Matlala is expected to testify with a revised statement. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. President Cyril Ramaphosa says as a founding member of South Africa cannot be excluded from the G20 after US President's retaliation against South Africa for its refusal to hand over the presidency of the G20 to a US diplomat over the weekend. Trump last night announced that South Africa is not welcome to attend G20 events in Miami next year, and all remaining funding to the country is to be pulled immediately. Trump snubbed this year's G20 that took place on African soil for the first time and ordered that its presidency be handed over to a US deputy ambassador. Lindsay Dentlinker reports.
In a late-night post on his social media platform, Truth Social, US President Donald Trump has once again repeated his false claim that white people in South Africa are being killed and their farms being taken at random. On Monday, government handed over the G20 documents to a US diplomat at the Department of International Relations, saying over the weekend it would not be proper for the president to conduct the handover to a diplomat rather than a senior government leader. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Magwenya says South Africa is a G20 member in its own right.
It is regrettable that despite the efforts and numerous attempts by President Ramaphosa
and his administration to reset the diplomatic relationship with the United States, President Trump continues to apply punitive measures against South Africa based on misinformation and distortions about our country.
The United States was the only G20 country not to be presented by a government leader at the summit that took place at Nasrec over the weekend, and with the exception of the business and civil society streams, snubbed most of the G20 meetings in South Africa this year. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
Attempted murder accused Vusmuzi Ket Matlala will continue with his testimony before Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating alleged police corruption and political interference. Appearing before the committee for the first time yesterday, Matlala said KZN top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi made veiled threats about permanently taking him out should any harm come to National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola over the cancellation of his police contract. Matlala also said it was former Minister Bheki Cele who facilitated a meeting between him and Mkhwanazi over the cancellation of the 360 million rand police tender. The committee is sitting at the Kgosi Mampuru Correctional Centre in Pretoria this week to accommodate Matlala, who is incarcerated at the facility awaiting trial for attempted murder. Babalondenza reports.
Vusmuzi Ket Matlala for the first time has linked KZN top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to the cancellation of his multi-million rand tender, which was canned at the end of last year. He says former Minister Bheki Cele had arranged the meeting between him and Mkhwanazi to help sort out issues around payments related to the tender and the cancellation of the contract. Matlala also said that Mkhwanazi told him that if Masemola was concerned that Matlala would take him out over the cancellation, Mkhwanazi would then take care of Matlala.
And Mkhwanazi said to me that, I said to National Commissioner that, Commissioner, if you think that your life is in danger, just say the word, I will take care of this cat. Then I asked him, what did you mean when you say that he must just say a word and then you will take care of me? And he told me that there is only one way that I can take care of you permanently. But he didn't say it in like kill you, but he just said to me that there is only one way that I can take care of you permanently.
Matlala said they had suspicions around Mkhwanazi's decision to not want to cancel the contract after he had initially called for its cancellation. Babalondenza, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
Some parliamentarians will today lay a number of complaints at the Cape Town Central Police Station for criminal investigation. First, the DA will be lodging a complaint against MK Party MP Duduzile Zuma over her alleged involvement in recruiting South Africans to fight in Russia's war against Ukraine. Zuma half-sister filed similar charges against her in Johannesburg over the weekend. The DA's Ryan Smith.
The DA will file the criminal case with the South African Police Service to investigate the roles of Zuma Sambudla after 17 South African men find themselves fighting in an active war zone, reportedly lured there by members of the MK party itself. New evidence and facts have recently emerged in this matter. The DA will also be addressing the potential foreign policy implications of the Department of International Relations and Cooperation's silence on the matter.
Meanwhile, the MK party says it will be laying two complaints stemming from Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating police corruption. The first is aimed at crime analyst Mary De Haas, who appeared before the committee last week and whom the party says has misled Parliament about her academic qualifications. A second complaint from the MK party is against forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan for allegedly sending a text to another witness at the inquiry, Cedric Nkabinde, while he was giving evidence. Party spokesperson Tlamulo Ndlela.
We will also bring in the fact that he submitted further intimidating correspondence, which was reportedly channeled through the evidence leader, Advocate Outurance, to MK party members. This conduct appears to contravene provisions of the Constitution, the Powers and Privileges Act, and Intimidation Act.
And the Ukrainian government says foreign fighters within its army ranks are treated equally as its local soldiers. And since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, Kyiv has steadily been growing its ground forces, either through conscription for locals and voluntarily enlisting for foreigners. At the same time, Russia has also bolstered its ranks with foreign fighters, with at least 17 of them coming from South Africa in controversial circumstances. circumstances. Tabiso Goba takes a look.
For most democratic countries across the world, mercenary activities are illegal. However, that has not stopped both Russia and Ukraine from enlisting foreign fighters within its armies, offering financial and social incentives. As a result of the war, the Ukrainian government has recently created a military ombud position. Military ombudsperson Olga Restuslovia says it's important human rights laws are respected, especially in times of war.
My task as a military ombudsperson is to create this infrastructure for protecting the human rights for foreign fighters as well, and to be sure that they are treated equal with the Ukrainian fighters.
She says part of her job is to also ensure that foreign fighters who die in the war are repatriated back to their home country. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,153.10 an ounce. The rand is at 17.11 to the dollar, 22.69 to the pound, 19.85 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $62.79 a barrel.
There's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N1 North in the city of Tshwane between John Forster Drive and the Flying Saucer interchange. That's due to a major accident scene. As a result, the R21 North is also affected coming out of Nelmapius Drive due to the scene.
And in your sport, Arsenal, the only unbeaten side of the Champions League after a 3-1 win over Bayern, while Liverpool went down 4-1 to Eindhoven. In the Betway Premiership, a 10-man Stellenbosch beat Orbit College 2-1. And 8 changes the Wales side to face the Springboks, but the Boks side will be named later today.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, President Cyril Ramaphosa says as a founding member, South Africa cannot be excluded from the G20 after US President's retaliation against South Africa for its refusal to hand over the presidency of the Group of 20 to a US diplomat over the weekend.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Checkers has issued a nationwide Black Friday announcement with savings of up to 50% from everyday groceries to top tech, appliances, and so much more. The deal making waves countrywide. Parliamentary Gouda or cheddar cheese, 850 grams, any for 99 Rand, say 51 Rand. So grab your extra savings card and make the most of these massive savings. In-store only while stocks last. Checkers, the home of Black Friday.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Gouda, Gouda. Gouda, Gouda. Gouda, Gouda. Get it on Black Friday specials at Checkers. All right, so what do we do now? President Ramaphosa says, well, actually, we are a founding member of this thing. You can't just exclude us. Can Trump decide that without the say-so of all the other member states? The very same ones who are high-fiving us, telling us how proud they were of the stellar hosting here in Johannesburg? Could he find trickier ways where perhaps he can't quite disinvite us, but there'll be all these visa bans? Do you remember they revoked Naledi Pando's just the other week? Dr. Naledi Pandor, the former DIRCO minister. And of course, she's not bothered. Perhaps that's the distraction, that's the noise. Institutionally, what will it mean? When he says, for example, all payments to South Africa, all subsidies, there is even a push that perhaps AGOA is where we are hurt the most. Do you remember, of course, it was just earlier in the week where we told you Park Stow, the Trade and Competition Minister, was saying they're still in talks around what that might look like. Institutionally, that's where it matters, because to reverse those decisions won't be as easy as Trump leaving office. It may take some time, and we may really feel the heat. On the other hand, Nigel, maybe the best Ramaphosa can do is earn some political currency here at home by seeming to stand up to the bully, because the bully's going to do what the bully's going to do.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
So much on the go, 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. I don't know if you watched the testimony of Vusumuzi Cat Matlala yesterday. The ad hoc committee quite literally going to him to hear that evidence at Kgosi Mampuru Correctional Services. One of the things he spoke about was the monies he says he handed over to Bheki and the protection he provided for the former minister, who, of course, on his own version, gave the impression of somebody who still has influence to the degree that decisions were made, including, of course, following that raid on Matlala's home where his guns were taken and then given back. And part of what he said was that these were also about fights about who was friends with whom. And so part of Bheki supposed influence was to tell the investigators that, no, he's not friends with that one, so you can leave him alone. He's not coming after you. What does that tell you about our political class?
But you had never, had you met Minister Nkunu at all?
I've never met him.
And you don't know him at all?
No, I don't know him.
So you confirm, just so that we can get this out of the way, that you provided an affidavit, and you see that on page 29, paragraph 124 of your statement.
Yes, I see.
I confirm that I provided an affidavit stating I have never met Minister Nkunu. This affidavit was prepared after Nkunu's lawyers contacted my lawyer to ask whether I knew the minister. I stated I did not know Minister Nkunu. They asked whether I was willing to depose to an affidavit to that effect. I said I was. This is how I came to depose to the affidavit that was provided to the minister. And you attached the affidavit at VM5.
Yes,
and that appears to be the same affidavit that the minister had presented to this committee when he gave evidence. So you confirm that?
Yes, I confirm that.
Extraordinary claims yesterday made by one Cat Matlala. And of course, we also want to know the defining movie, perhaps let's say, of your growing up. Not so much your childhood, of your growing up, because of this.
Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back.
Oh man, this coming out in 2013. Yeah, it was a big part of my life, having a child who was into those movies. The Lion King was mine. No Kanye Mtambo, the defining movie of your growing up?
Everybody loves Kung Fu fighting. Ooh. Ah.
Oh.
Why am I getting
From
bizarre?
Frozen and Lion King, Kung Fu fighting.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda. What do you mean? It's an iconic movie.
Amo?
I mean, it was, but mine was Lion King as well. We had the
Yes, thank
merchandise,
you.
we had the games, we had the puzzles, we had the linen. Yeah, everything was just Lion
No
King in my
Do you
house.
care for my opinion or
No
not?
Kanye, all I can tell you, it's clear from your vacant expression, the lights are not all on. I secretly thought I was Scar. You can see why, right?
Oh.
You have no idea.
A little.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Morning, Bongles. My wife and I were hosting my birthday party, and we ordered, there were about 8 of us, and we ordered deconstructed bunny chows from a restaurant, and it came deconstructed, so we just popped the lamb curry into a pot. The intention was just to rewarm it in the pot, but everyone kind of assumed that my wife had made it, and we kind of just rolled with it. We even went as far as saying we specially ordered the half-baked loaf for the bunny chows. Yeah, it happens, it's okay.
Yeah, Bongani, me, you see what I do is I go to Spa, I buy 2 of those roast chickens in Yana, or sometimes at Pick and Pay. I tune the French chance. I'm gonna make a roast, and then I just pop it in the oven a bit, little bit in Yana, spice it up a bit, and then it's ready.
Morning, Bongani. A friend of mine's husband only wants custard that is made from scratch. So the powdered custard on the stove with milk and whatever. But my friend takes the Ultra Bell, she puts it in a pot and then she warms it and serves it as that custard. And he's none the wiser. She's been doing it for years. And he believes it's homemade custard.
Poor thing. I have done it, now that I remember, but it was years ago. There are a number of restaurants in Fordsburg where you literally can bring your pots and they decant biryanis and curries into your pots and you just go home and pass it off as your own.
You bring the pots to them?
Yes.
So they know people do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I don't mind.
Okay, I've done it as well. I'm not ashamed.
What
to
do you
admit
pass
it.
off as your own?
No, it was just this one time. It was really cold, and I was telling Amma, I was trying to be romantic, and I'd made so many promises about making a really lovely home-cooked meal, and I just didn't have the time.
What did you?
So I got into Uber Eats, and I got beef stew, some itombolo, some
You even
salads.
Uber Eats it?
Yes, some salads.
Amo?
Wheat and quinoa salad from Checkers. It's the most brilliant but beautiful salad.
And everyone believes you made it.
Because we in my home we love vegetables and we like
Has
exploring.
anyone ever asked you how to make quinoa?
Yeah, and then I just say
Googled quickly.
I didn't even Google. I just say, yeah, I'll tell you. I'll send you the recipe, but I never do.
And no, Kanya, did that relationship work out?
It did. Why? What are you
Okay.
asking me?
Just ask.
EWN Traffic.
19 after 8. Amo, how are the roads?
Oh, Bongani, the city of Tshwane heavily backed up. We've got a lot of traffic volumes this morning. This is due to that accident scene near the Flying Saucer interchange. Delays from Bota Avenue. The R21 North is also heavily backed up due to the scene. And if you're traveling on the southerly direction of the N1, do expect delays approaching the Flying Saucer turn off. We also have got queuing traffic in Voorstrook and Monument at Euphus Road. This is coming out of the N14. Please be on the lookout there while traveling in Joburg. Some delays on the N1 North. In fact, peak time delays between Bears-Nadia Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. There's also queuing traffic along the N12 West between Snake Road and Rondabelt Road. This is due to that earlier accident in the Boksburg area. Do expect about a 20-minute hold up there. More updates coming up. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
20 minutes after 8 o'clock. On to this now. The National Film and Video Foundation has just opened up a massive funding window. It's all under the Presidential Employment Stimulus Program. And they're aiming this one squarely at boosting the film industry here in South Africa. So whether you want to make documentaries, for example, perhaps training young creatives, running a festival, this is going to put real money behind projects that, of course, can create jobs and stimulate the sector. There's more than 50 million rand in funding available right now. Onke Dumeko is the acting CEO of the National Film and Video Foundation and joins us in studio. Onke, very good morning to you and thank you for coming all the way.
Thank you, Ndiabulela Bele. Thank you so much.
Talk to me about this. Who are you targeting? Everybody thinks we can make a film, but can we?
Yes. So we obviously are targeting filmmakers primarily. I think, you know, to put some respect on the industry is very important. I think it's a good question that you ask because everyone thinks they have an idea and that it can turn into a film, and that's not necessarily the case. So our focus is filmmakers and, you know, people who host film festivals, filmmakers that are very experienced and can train others, right? So the idea is that you either host a workshop, right, to upskill others, or you do a film festival. But particularly for this, we're targeting filmmakers who've put their skin in the game. They've done this for a number of years. you've had at least 2 to 3 commercially viable films that have, been distributed in cinemas and theaters. You know what you're doing, and you can produce the type of film that we're looking for, a blockbuster, quote unquote, in 12 months, because this is a presidential employment stimulus program. So from the presidency, they want to quantify the value of the industry.
What about young up-and-coming filmmakers? Aren't you already targeting those who already have been commissioned before, who've made a bit of money, who are doing this anyway?
So the young and up-and-coming filmmakers are definitely catered for. So this fund is quite expansive. So overall, it's actually 230 million rand. So the 50 million rand speaks purely to the blockbusters. We've already opened a call already for way more than 50 million, where a lot of young filmmakers were then able to submit films or submit applications so that they could create films, short films, feature films.
So what are you looking for?
So everyone is catered for.
Proposals. So this is what my film would be about. This is how I would make it, etc., etc. Or do you want me to have already shot some kind of pilot? What are you looking for?
So ideally, we want you, it really depends on you. Our application system is quite particular. You submit through our online portal that's available via the NFF website. And we are funding from development, so from ideation. So this is the idea that I want. I'm going to go into script development, and then I'm going to go into production. Alternatively, you could already have the script, right? You could have the draft of the script, and you're ready to go into production.
You said film and television. Are you prepared to fund television programs, series, anything of that sort?
So with TV, we focus only on pilots. TV is quite expensive. I mean, we are the National Film and Video Foundation, so our main focus is film. When it comes to TV, we focus purely on pilots, if it's, for example, one episode. But for this funding, particularly that relates to blockbusters, we're looking at feature films, we're looking at documentaries, animations. Yeah, so that's what we're focusing on for this.
All right, where can people apply?
Via the NFF website, www.nff.co.za. All the prompts will be there, and we wish everyone the best of luck.
NFVF, right?
NFVF.
NFVF.co.za.
Absolutely.
And the deadline to apply is?
So the deadline is actually on Friday, the 28th. This call opened in October, so it's been open for quite a while. So
why didn't you come before? Naughty,
we
naughty,
tried.
Listen,
we tried.
We appreciate you making the effort. If you are a filmmaker and this is something that you've been looking for, do go to the National Film and Video Foundation website. All the information is there, what you will be required, what you may be eligible for. Don't waste time. Don't sit on this. The deadline is 28 November 2025. That's tomorrow, folks.
Yes.
Onke, appreciate you very much for coming in to share about this. And I'd be very keen to know if anybody applies, having listened to us, and wins something and gets any funding.
Well, you know what? I think a lot
if they do, let us know.
I definitely will.
Fantastic
Thank
stuff.
you so much.
All right, Onke Dumeko is the National Film and Video Foundation acting CEO.
702. The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Adam Gilchrist, let's start with this inferno in Hong Kong. We understand it's still not quite out.
No, I believe that's right, that there is still smouldering wreckage of these tower blocks. It wasn't just one towering inferno, it was multiple. These high-rise buildings that caught fire in Hong Kong's Tay Po district. 44 people at least have lost their lives in this fire as it leapt up. Or going through the stories, 300 people are still missing, or around that number anyway. So 24 hours on since it started, 300 missing is not a good number. 800 plus firefighters were tackling the blaze, and whilst they obviously have to work out what caused it in the first place, it's thought that the flames were encouraged upwards by bamboo scaffolding. We had a problem here with Grenfell Tower and its flammable cladding. Bamboo scaffolding, even if treated with some sort of preventer, gosh, what did that do?
Now, everybody thought it was just small change, but it made one warden quite rich, Adam.
Yeah, every penny counts. There's a Superman film, isn't there, when Richard Pryor's character takes 0.1 of a cent off everyone's tax return and ends up being a multi-millionaire. So here we have a German parking warden accused of embezzling €1 million in cash, roughly speaking 20 million rand, €1 at a time, all in coins, from parking meters. This happened in the German town of Kempten, and the parking warden's accused of putting them in bank accounts accessible by his wife. Basically, a money laundering investigation found there was missing money, and they tracked it to this guy. He's been accused of 720 incidents of theft, except actually they don't know how long it was going on for, and indeed how many times he would have had to have taken those coins out of the meters. To get to €1 million, €1 at a time, for, obviously meters hold more than one, but you know what I mean. Persistence and patience would have been the key there, I suggest.
And I suppose those are the accounts they know about. Finally, Thanksgiving pardons in the US.
One of those weird annual ceremonies that I'd forgotten about, but Thanksgiving in America today, and ahead of it, they do this presidential pardon thing. The giving of a turkey to the White House goes back to the 1870s. The pardoning thing goes back to George Bush. So this is because 46 million turkeys are eaten in America today. 88% of Americans tuck in for Thanksgiving. So Donald Trump duly pardoned 2 turkeys, Waddle and Gobble. Previous presidential birds to have survived to tell their tales include corn and cob, peanut butter and jelly, and peas and carrots, all given very edible names. I don't know if that's a kind of ghoulish torture. Yes, you can live with your edible names, turkeys.
Why did the turkey cross the road, Adam? To prove he wasn't chicken.
That's quite good. I like that.
EWN.
Oh, the madness continues, I tell you. All right, 29 after 8 business news now. Dokanya Mdambo, a dividend surge for shareholders at Tiger Brands.
Yeah, Bongani, so the JSE-listed food group Tiger Brands has rewarded shareholders with a second special dividend of 4 billion rand. After delivering a solid full-year performance, the group reported a 2.7% rise in revenue to 34.4 billion rand for the year ended September. The group says this is mostly through continuous improvement initiatives, including optimizing logistics and factory inefficiencies. These initiatives have also contributed to increased affordability of the company's products, with overall price deflation of 0.8%. The group, which is valued at 57 billion rand on the JSE, of course, owns iconic brands including your Coup, your Jungle Oats, Tastic, and Black Cat. In the short to medium term, the group expects volume growth of 1 to 3% and revenue growth in line with inflation. The food producer has also unveiled a new corporate look. Bongani, I don't know if you've seen it, but now the cat is now black and the tiger is still there, but of course a slightly different look. Stephen Groote spoke to Tiger Brands CEO Chart Kruger yesterday on the new look. Have a listen.
Fewer colors, less cost. We put that on the back of every product that we sell. That's millions and millions of products. We do feel we've turned the corner, and we do need to futuristic this almost and really modernize this brand. The chin of that tiger is the bottom bit of a Mrs. Ball's container. The ears are the same as the Black Cat logo. So it really represents our whole value chain, and it really is modern. It's quite assertive. It's going for growth, and it's futuristic. So we just think it's the right time now to get the organization to really focus on the future.
Cost-effective, Bongani, but also futuristic.
Tiger, not burning so bright. That's what I would say. Where's the rand?
Thanks to the dollar weakness, the rand still holding on tight this morning. Bongani at 17.11 to the dollar, 19.85 to the euro. 22.63 to the pound. The gold is trading at $4,153 an ounce, platinum at $1,614. The price of Brent crude at $62.15. That's all we have for the morning. Catch Stephen Groote on the Money Show later this evening with the very latest business news.
Now, Nokanya, what do you get when you cross a tiger and a snowman? Frostbite.
No.
Swisser Zulu.
Over to you at Eyewitness News. Thanks, Wani. Good morning. The Department of Employment and Labour has told Parliament that the Western Cape construction industry has a particularly poor track record of adhering to labour laws. Following the collapse of a partially constructed apartment building in George last year, the department carried out 311 construction site inspections, finding that most employers were not compliant with the law. Yesterday, the department informed Parliament's committee that it has now submitted its George incident report to the NPA for a decision on criminal prosecution. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
Of the 77 employees affected by the George building collapse, 68 submitted claims to the compensation fund. Only 15 of these claims came from South African citizens. Chief Labour Inspector Millie Reuters says the compensation fund has paid out more than 6 million rand to subcontractors to cover the medical expenses of injured workers.
In the areas where they are not able to have sufficient documentation, they cannot process the claims and ultimately make payments.
With none of the 53 foreign nationals working on the collapsed George building in possession of a work permit, MPs have raised concerns about the high number of illegal migrants working on construction sites. But Deputy Minister Jomo Sibiya says they are still entitled to compensation if they are injured on duty.
You remain a human being that is in South Africa, and we have a responsibility as the state to make sure that we protect your rights.
So far this year, the department says it's conducted 487 blitz inspections on Western Cape building sites. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Some parties in the KwaZulu-Natal coalition government are opposed to a motion of no confidence in Premier Thamsanqa Ntuli. The MK party has announced to the legislature its intention to have Ntuli removed from his position. The party claims the provincial government under Ntuli's leadership is misusing funds, something the Premier has denied. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports from KZN.
MK party member of KZN legislature Bongani Bingwa told the House about his reasons for a motion of no confidence on Premier Thamsanqa Ntuli.
Financial mismanagement, misleading this House on his New York trip, and failure to address unemployment and poverty. I shall so move.
Ntuli says a proper report was finished on the New York trip. Meanwhile, the DA's Francois Rogers, also MEC for the Finance Department in the Executive Council, said his party will oppose the motion.
Absolutely. We're part of the government of provincial unity. We're not perfect, but we're a damn sight better than the MK.
Meanwhile, the ANC's Boniso Duma had this to say.
Ordinarily, we want to govern on our own. But at this point in time, the advanced judgment of the ANC is clinical on the approach. As long as the people's life has not been changed, we're still going to subject ourselves in ensuring that the needs of our people is what is the priority.
The NFP at a national level has outlined it also wants Ntuli sacked. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
And South Africans are again being warned to refrain from impulsive spending on Black Friday and during the festive season. The National Credit Regulator says this will go a long way in helping people from getting into unnecessary debt. More than 10 million South Africans are over indebted and 36% of the population has 3 or 5 credit accounts in arrears. The regulator's Alfred Matsimbi says consumers should live within their means.
Everybody's rushing to the shopping malls and they are buying. Many of us will end up buying things that we really don't need. So that's the biggest mistake of buying things that we do not really need.
Matsimbi says excessive debt puts consumers under psychological strain.
The crowds, they are flocking. We are all flocking to the shops, and unfortunately, it hits us psychologically. And unfortunately, overspending, reckless spending, it's at the doorstep. You'll end up being over-indebted.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 29.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in the city of Tshwane along the N1 North. This is between Botha Avenue and the Flying Saucer interchange. That's due to an earlier accident. It's been cleared, but traffic remains slow. While traveling in Littleton, we've got another accident scene reported on Trichard Road. It's right after Littleton Road, causing delays.
The top story this hour, the Department of Employment and Labour has told Parliament that the Western Cape construction industry has a particularly poor track record of adhering to labour laws.
Business Outurance are experts in business insurance for butcheries, restaurants, beauty salons and more. Here's Gert.
I definitely have peace of mind that Business Outurance is protecting our business.
I do think Business Outurance are the best insurance company out there, and they gave us the best quotes.
Switch to Business Outurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
The 2025 Salga National Members Assembly is happening right now in the city of eThekwini, where South Africa's local government leaders are shaping real solutions for stronger, more resilient municipalities, from infrastructure renewal to digital transformation, climate action to revenue strengthening. The National Members Assembly is where action meets impact. Stay informed and follow all the highlights and key outcomes on Salga's official platforms. Salga, inspiring service delivery.
A man driven to the edge. I don't know where you are. I don't know who you're with. When his beloved takeaway was taken away. I will look for you. I will find you. And I will eat you.
It's the summer of stars at Simply Asia. Stand a chance to win a Toyota Starlet when you spend 200 Rand or more on our famous flavors. Order now. Simply Asia. Connecting the Thaiway.
In a world where markets move fast, confidence isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Prime XPT is empowering a new generation of traders with a next-level trading experience that puts control back where it belongs, in your hands. Catch 702 in conversation with Prime XPT this week on The Money Show with Stephen Grootes, unpacking their seamless, integrated trading platform. Discover how they're redefining what's possible for traders through knowledge, cutting-edge technology, and trust. Don't miss it. Prime XPT, empowering traders to succeed on 702. Trade responsibly. Trading comes with risk.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani. Aye. Cat. His story doesn't add up. Remember, they did record him, right? They recorded him. Abulelagas. Rorata Saka Damanu Greedy, Libom Kun and all that. Now he doesn't say anything about them. Ospina the whole story Kam Kwanas. Tantam Kwanas. Aye. Ooh, I wish today Sansabamu Dal Lady Audio Zeu Bamu Grile Hood. No. Askari Ravana man, this guy. Yes. Koro Odala part 2 Banung ya Brown Mohots. Haibo. Hi, Mzanzi.
This cat is playing games with the entire country. We had a recording of him talking about Sibia, how he gave Sibia 300,000 Rand in cash at Sibia's son's wedding. We heard him in his own voice at the Madlanga Commission during the testimony of Witness C. This cat is playing games. I mean, does this cat watch the news? Because what he was saying yesterday is the total opposite of what we've been hearing at the Madlanga Commission. And also what makes it worse is that his voice on that recording at the Madlanga Commission is the same voice that we heard in Parliament at the ad hoc committee yesterday. This cat is playing games with the country. Thanks, Bongani.
There's a fascinating piece in News 24 written by Carol Payton, which I think is the bigger point of all of this. And it's entitled, "The ANC has many brown mukhotsis who have rocked our politics." And isn't that really the bigger question? People who are so dishonest, right? Who are such obvious liars, as many of you are reflecting. There's bits that they say that just are completely incredulous. How is it those people are so close to the corridors of power? I can't phone Begitele and get any matter resolved, even if it's me making a complaint, right? I couldn't. But guys like this, and you look at them and they're shady, right down to, the Burberry that we saw, the fashionista on display yesterday. And you think, how do people like that get so close to power? What does that tell you about the ANC?
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, I will crash like an aeroplane because, as you said about an hour ago, this might be Arsenal's year, right?
Yeah.
I'm obviously hoping against all hope for the Champions League. I'm not expecting it.
Yeah.
But at least we've got to get the Premiership. I think we're 6 points clear at the top at the moment.
Yeah.
And we did the business. It's one thing to do well in England, but it's quite another to do the business on the continent in Europe as well. And so far, so good for Arsenal.
And very difficult to keep both going simultaneously. It does test a lot of the depth. So we've seen it with City. We're now seeing it with Liverpool. It tests the depth in the side to be able to keep all the balls in the air, because obviously the better you do in the Champions League, the better you do in the league, then you start getting roped into all these other competitions because you're the best, and everybody wants to play against you. But yeah, I always say the team that's top at Christmas is the team that wins the league. That's my little feeling.
But another
I'm probably
month or so.
completely wrong, but yes.
But another month or so, all right, I'll be remembering you on Christmas Day.
Between Christmas and New Year, they
And
play
I'll put on my Arsenal shirt.
Arsenal beat Bayern Munich last night 3-1 to top the Champions League table and remain the only unbeaten side so far. Liverpool boss Arne Slot, though, is now feeling the pressure. Last night's 4-1 loss to PSV has the Reds in their worst run in 71 years. 9 losses in 12 games and 3 consecutive losses in all competitions by a margin of 3 goals for the first time since 1953. Slot was asked about keeping his job.
I see enough moments that players show their quality, but it doesn't reflect in the score. That is clear. But no, I'm not worried. What I mean with that is that my focus is on other things than worrying about my own position. I try to analyze, try to help the players as much as I can, and it's obvious that I don't do it in the way I did that last season. Again, I need to do better, and that's why I'm trying to do every single day to improve the team, and that is where my main focus is.
Real Madrid beat Olympiacos 4-3. Mbappe scored all 4 goals. Spurs lost to PSG 5-3. Inter Milan's unbeaten run is over. They lost to Atletico 2-1. Atletico scored in stoppage time there. Back home in the Betway Premiership, a 10-man Stellenbosch came from a goal down to beat Orbit College 2-1 for only their 3rd win of the season. Springbok team to play Wales will be named later today. Both sides without 25 first-choice players between them as the match falls outside the international window. Wales have made 8 changes to their starting lineup for Saturday's game. Coach Steve Tandy.
The more games we get, I think we've got 14 or 15 for the World Cup, so any game's a great game for us. And if you ask any player to represent the country at any given time, no matter where it is, they're going to want to play. There's loads of ways you can look at this game, but for me it's exciting. Some boys are going to get their first opportunity, and we're playing against an unbelievable opposition, so it's going to be some class learnings for us as a team and also individuals.
Proteas are revelling in their historic 408-run win over India, a Test Series win in that country for the first time in 25 years. For India, it was their biggest ever defeat on home soil. Spinner Simon Harmer was named player of the series, 17 wickets in 2 tests.
In Pakistan, going 1-0 down, coming back and winning that test match. And the same thing here, I think, coming to India, understanding that it was going to be a difficult series. They're a world-class team, especially in their own conditions. The focus was always trying to win the series and the team's success. The personal stuff is a nice to have. I would have been very happy to leave India making a small contribution and the team winning.
The Proteas now play India in an ODI series starting Sunday. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
As an FSCA regulated broker, Prime XBT gives you the confidence to trade market volatility your way. Enjoy low trading fees, advanced tools across crypto futures and CFDs, and VIP discounts of up to 70% available to new traders. Take advantage of free deposits and withdrawals with crypto options and local South African payment methods. Prime XBT, empowering traders to succeed. Trade responsibly. Trading comes with risk.
EWN Traffic.
14 minutes before 9 o'clock. Let's quickly catch up with the traffic. Amo, wrap it up for this morning.
Well, Bongani, we still have got delays in the city of Tshwane, Littleton along Trichard Road. Right after Littleton Road, an accident reported along this route. Please be on the lookout there. And then if you're traveling on the N1 North, do expect about a 20-minute hold up between Botha Avenue and Rigel Avenue. This is due to an earlier accident. If you're heading towards the CBD of Pretoria, please use the N14 North instead. And then traveling on the N12 West, we still have got major traffic volumes between Snake Road and Rondebult Road due to that earlier accident. There's also queuing traffic heading towards Germiston along the M2 East between Silver Street and Cleveland Road. I'll have more updates for you at the top of the hour. Do stay tuned for more updates.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Access to the internet is vital for any country to grow. That's why the recent 6.75 billion rand digital infrastructure deal that Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking facilitated between Telkom and an Actors-led consortium is so transformational for South Africa. It unlocks growth and provides internet access to underserved communities who will now have access to the internet for the very first time. Search CIB Stories of Impact to watch the full story.
Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
You've heard the songs, but until you've seen it live, you haven't experienced the magic of cats. Coming to Monte Casino from 17 January until 22 February, it's the memory shared by millions. Book now at Web Tickets. Brought to you by Peter Turin and GWB Entertainment.
Psst. Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be? The man who's the life of the party even when he doesn't attend. The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated. Vitamin high-performance supplements for men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and vitamin.co.za. Vitamin. Don't get older. Get better.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyathela Show
on 702.
Coming up on the Clement Manyathela Show between 9 and 12 is the man himself. What can we expect today?
So, good morning. We're going to have a conversation about what Donald Trump, the US president, tweeted yesterday, announcing that South Africa...
Posted, because it's Truth Social.
Oh, yes, Truth,
Posted.
yeah. And because it gets retweeted
Yes.
or re-X'd, whatever they call it now. And I want to ask the listeners what they think should be the approach of the G20 itself as an institution or the approach of the G20 members. And I'm more interested in our BRICS allies. I'm more interested in the European Union as well. So we're going to talk about that, and then we'll reflect on Ket Matlala's testimony yesterday. There were some contradictions, what he said yesterday before the parliamentary inquiry and what he said
at the Madlanga.
Well, not said there, but the recording that was played.
Yes.
So I'm going to make that point as well and get what the listeners' thoughts are. And then at 10 o'clock, we're going to take Ket Matlala live once again today until 11 o'clock. Because there's explosives coming out there.
Fantastic stuff. Clement Manyathela between 9 and 12. Are those Burberry jeans?
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Now, a little earlier on, you may remember we spoke to Dr. D. Blackie about the cutting off of the Children's Memorial Institute. 41 million rand, they're told they owe City Power. And of course, this has affected a number of NPOs working out of that space and mostly dealing with children and children's issues. And we're looking for some kind of resolution. And so we've now got City Power spokesperson Isaac Mangena on the line to tell us if we can find middle ground. A pleasure to have you on the show, Isaac Mangena. I don't know if you heard what Dr. D. Blackie had to say, and mostly we're trying to figure out, because there's so much at stake in terms of vulnerable children, particularly in this time of activism against gender-based violence, can we find a solution?
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to the listeners. Yes, we really should find a solution, and we've been working towards finding that solution. In fact, we've been working with the Department of Health, who's our customer, because the property belongs to the Department of Health for the past 2 years, actually. So this thing is not a new thing. It has been going on for some time. We have disconnected this institute institution several times before, and there have been some agreements with the Department of Health, and there have been some part payment here, part payment there, and then jumps few months, another payment here. So that is the problem that we have always been having, and I think we are at the point where we basically think that as the city, because it's not only city power, but it's also other services like water, rates, and taxes that are involved. So we are looking at the solutions around intergovernmental relations with the Department of Health, and then we can then be able to find solutions, especially for the vulnerable people that are housed within that space.
As a layperson, Isaac, I can easily get confused and say, isn't it all part of the same government? Yes, I understand the 3 tiers and the different levels, but surely the right hand can talk to the left hand. And if this is a persistent issue, is there no way to separate these meters so that whatever quibbles you have with the Department of Health don't affect these vulnerable children?
Yeah, that is another option that when we were talking, and I remember at that time I started the conversation with Modak at the Department of Health in the province, and we basically started talking even with the people dealing with finances so that we can start to get some money, because as the city we are bleeding money basically because of the government departments that are owing the city. Almost $500 million is owed by the government department, and we have been writing letters, we have been engaging. Like I say now, we're also even thinking, because of the same government, maybe this intergovernmental relation principles will basically apply, and we'll get to a point where we are able to deal with this. But with this institution itself or the tenants within that area, we don't have a contractual obligation with them, but with the department, and that's why our conversation has really been with the department and not individuals. But Dr. D, I did get your numbers so that we can start talking. So I know that there is a meeting that is set up.
Sure.
So that we can
Look, a lot of these conversations may take time to resolve. They've been without power for 8 days. They're on their last legs now. Is there any way, as you guys conclude new arrangements and new discussions, you can give them a bit of a reprieve in the meantime?
Yes, indeed. In fact, yesterday we were talking about this with the office of the mayor, Councillor Tata Morero, and also I made a call with the office of the finance office within the city of Johannesburg. The executive there is Mr. Malopera Marara, so that we can then find a way of connecting these people back while we are.
Could we do it today, Isaac?
We're also the complications also, Bongani, is that this matter now is in the legal hands. So the NGOs went to the courts, and that's why currently they've got water, they don't have electricity, because the courts made a ruling that we should reinstate the water. They did not say electricity,
but as all of this is being resolved, and hopefully amicably, I mean, hopefully the lawyers go away, but I'm just saying, in the meantime, surely it's as simple as sending contractors to go put the power back on.
Yeah, we would like to do that, and I think that's what I wanted to work on today, so that we can then have that discussion with the people there while they at least have electricity. But I think we should also get to a point of understanding, making these institutions and NGOs understand that they have got an obligation to pay their debts, whether they are housing vulnerable people or.
But it's the Department of Health that you have the. That's what I mean. There are all kinds of Isaac. I promise you, I don't want to fight with you or get into a whole debate about these things. I'm just worried about the vulnerable children. There are all kinds of complicated ways in which these contracts are arranged. And I'm saying, surely, because of the vulnerable children, you can have longer term discussions, perhaps separating the meters, having different conversations with the Department of Health, etc., etc., etc. Whilst all of that happens, can we not have the lights on and save the children and look after the children?
Yeah, that is my aim this today, so that I can then convene.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put you through to Dr. We'll put you through to Dr. Blackie. See if there's some kind of arrangement that you guys can work out, even as all those other discussions are continuing. But let's make sure we look after the children, hey? Definitely. We will definitely take it up with them, and then we will make sure that we restore electricity. Appreciate your help in getting back to us. Isaac Mangena there, the City Power spokesperson.
You can become a victim of a legal problem wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The 2025 SALGA National Members Assembly is happening right now in the city of eThekwini, where South Africa's local government leaders are shaping policy for stronger, more resilient municipalities. From infrastructure strengthening to climate action to digital transformation, the National Members Assembly is where action meets impact. Stay informed and follow all the highlights and key outcomes on SALGA's official platforms. SALGA, inspiring service delivery.
My bro, just left Discam and I can confidently say I found the perfect spot for Black Friday. Yo, all the deals, all the feels, yeah, all in one place. This new Discam Better Rewards card, brilliant. You can save big time on over 140 Better Rewards brands. That's 10% off instantly on top of promo prices. Do yourself a favor, become a member, fill your basket, and make that amazing deals till slip longer than Ikuyase Home Affairs. Anyways, catch you later, bro. Black Friday just got lacquer.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Paddle meets wildlife. If you love the sport and you care about protecting the environment, especially our rhinos, this one may be for you. A new event called Paddle for Hope, mixing sport technology and conservation in a way we've never seen before. Using blockchain to show donors exactly how their money can help save the rhino. Lauren Mark is the organizer for Paddle for Hope. Lauren, thank you so much for talking to us. I do apologize that we came to you a little later than we had anticipated. Very briefly, please, can you explain what this event is all about?
Hi, Bongani. Thank you so much for having us today. We so appreciate it. So we're so excited to launch this event. We're working with our USA partners who are very, very pride in making conservation for our rhinos exist. I mean, I just want to start by saying, Bongani, that you know that the rhinos have walked this planet for over 50 million years, and it's such a big part of our ecosystem for all of us here in Africa. And you do know that there's only 27,000 rhinos remain in the wild today. And with the continuing of poaching, trafficking, and habitat loss, it continues to push them towards extinction quicker than we actually know. So with our partners in the United States, we're on a huge drive to make this awareness to the people in Africa, but also internationally, and these people that want to get behind this beautiful, beautiful initiative. So this is why the Paddle for Hope series exists. This is why we're going to play, and this is why transparency matters. As you know, it's a blockchain initiative, so that way everything is tracked. Every donation, 50% goes towards the wildlife. It's in partnership with our partners in America, which is the Hope Social Coin, which is launched on the blockchain recently. And what better way to do it than through Paddle? I mean, Paddle is amazing.
How good do you have to be?
Well, look, you need to be able to play, but everyone's welcome. You know, I'm competitive.
So exactly how will it work?
Well, we're hosting this event, which is an Americano tournament, on Saturday at Top Paddle in Olivedale. 24 participants. We've got a few celebrities endorsing this cause for us. We've got Sugar Smacks from Squatter Camp who's bringing his racket. Fabian McCarthy's bringing his racket. We have Sean Bartlett, Paul Kamanga. They're all coming to play. They've been practicing. They're telling me they can play, so we're going to see that on Saturday. And then we have just people that have registered to play on the day. But we want the support in terms of the public to come out and support this cause. We just really want to make a noise about it.
It's happening this Saturday, 29 November, from 12 to 5.
Correct, at Top Paddle in Olivedale. And you can find all the details on paddleforhope.com.
All right. Players, of course, competing for some cash prizes. But of course, all of this is towards saving the rhino. 50 million years on the planet. We haven't been around even for 1 million of those as a species. So we've got to make sure we protect these majestic animals. Lauren Mock, good luck to you. I hope it all goes well on Saturday. Organizer there for Paddle for Hope.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
And there ends this edition of 702 Breakfast. We'll see you bright and early at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning for the Friday edition of 702 Breakfast.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I am Sfiso Zulu. President Cyril Ramaphosa says as a founding member, South Africa cannot be excluded from the G20. His remarks come after an announcement last night by US President Donald Trump that the G20. His remarks come after an announcement last night by US President Donald Trump that South Africa is not invited to G20 events in Miami next year and all remaining funding to the country is to be pulled immediately. This is Trump's retaliation against South Africa for its refusal to hand over the presidency of the Group of 20 to a US diplomat over the weekend. Trump snubbed this year's G20 that took place on African soil for the first time and ordered that its presidency be handed over to a US deputy ambassador. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
In a late-night post on his social media platform, Truth Social, US President Donald Trump has once again repeated his false claim that white people in South Africa are being killed and their farms being taken at random. On Monday, government handed over the G20 documents to a US diplomat at the Department of International Relations, saying over the weekend it would not be proper for the president to conduct the handover to a diplomat rather than a senior government leader. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Magwenya says South Africa is a G20 member in its own right.
It is regrettable that despite the efforts and numerous attempts by President Ramaphosa and his administration to reset the diplomatic relationship with the United States, President Trump continues to apply punitive measures against South Africa based on misinformation and distortions about our country.
The United States was the only G20 country not to be presented by a government leader at the summit that took place at Nasrec over the weekend, and with the exception of the business and civil society streams, snubbed most of the G20 meetings in South Africa this year. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
Attempted murder accused Vusmuzi Kat Matlala will continue with his testimony before Parliament's ad hoc committee that's investigating alleged police corruption and